We do indeed pick up in Lockheed's Haven as the guard Aria has approached and said that the Inquisition has arrived and surrounded Lockheed's Haven, declaring it a quarantine zone. Matriarch Ashana glances between you, Caldana, and then over to the guard, and she nods. They're not allowing anyone to come in or to go out. And Aria nods. Yes, Matriarch. They say that by order of the Inquisitor, this our area of the city is officially under quarantine until such time as they can complete their investigation. Very well. I will go and speak to them myself. She looks. Aria looks concerned and is like, no. And at that point, I can find her name. So sorry, I lost the name. Come on, where are you? There it is. At that point, Caldana, you see Roshaya, whom on your first visit to Mina's Grove, you were able to prove the innocence of. She stands there, still quite tall in her Hand of the Goddess jacket as she approaches. She doesn't have any weapons on her, as she seldom does. She uses her fists. But she walks over and glances at you, Caldana. It's like, is this your doing?
I haven't talked to any of them.
I assume we're not going to be seeing Kuldan again.
No, her words were correct.
All right. Matriarch, then I beg you, as the Hand of the Goddess of Lockheed's Haven, it is my responsibility to go out and speak with them. The Matriarch Ashana kind of smiles at that. Oh. It is your task and sacred charge to bring back food and water and medicine and whatever else we need to survive. I do not recall it being within the charter of the Hands of the Goddess to negotiate for us. Rashaya looks a little sheepish at that. Of course, Matriarch. I speak out of turn. I apologize. She glances over at Caldana. Are your friends still traveling with you?
Mm-hmm. They they were summoned to speak with the Inquisition. Technically, all of us were. I decided coming here was more important.
She gives a half smile at that. I see. Well then. Would you go then? Speak on behalf of us for now.
Caldana looks shocked. I can at least find out what they want.
You have seen firsthand what happened at New Alcana, and your friends are out there and may be able to prove of use to you. We have few friends beyond these walls.
I'll do what I can.
She nods her head gratefully. Aria, please escort Caldana to the nearest exit. And she goes over and sits back down in her in the large cushions that she has been provided. Rashaya glances. Matriarch, maybe you'd allow me to escort her out at least. Matriarch raises an eyebrow, and another smile comes across her face. Very well. You may do as you see fit, Rashaya. Rashaya nods and she nudges you. Come on, let's go.
I'll follow her. I assume the way I've been coming is probably not the shortest.
It is not, in fact. In fact, you get the sense, based on the amount of time that it takes for you to like reach the exit, you're like, okay, well, we might have been going the longest way actually in then, but fair enough. But Rashaya glances over at you as you walk along. You're from the mountain, right?
I
Why are you helping us?
why wouldn't I?
She's a little taken aback by that for a moment and thinks about it. Because no one does.
To be completely honest, I don't remember my life in the mountains, and well, if I can do anything to help out other tieflings, might as well. Given how she just kind of gestures vaguely.
He nods, seeming to fully understand what you're suggesting. There are very few people on Serene who give two shits about the plight of the tieflings. Sorry, out of character note too, by the way, for anyone, I should have mentioned this at the beginning of the game. There has been a retcon to the name of the world we're using because, god damn it, my old one sounded too similar to FF14's world. So the planet has been renamed Serene.
Totally no an unrelated correlation. Nope.
Yeah, not at all. Just nearest backwards. Sure. Anyway, she nods. Kul'dan trained me as a hand of the goddess. He was my uncle.
My condolences.
No. He betrayed us. He betrayed everybody. As does anyone who tampers in black magic, anybody who tries to repeat the mistakes made in the past. We may be related by blood, but he is not family anymore. But thank you for what you did. As much as I would have loved to see some of my friends come back, it's better that they die than continue to do that.
Or worse, come back and, well, kind of nods her head to the outside.
She nods. Indeed. It will only cause more trouble for us, as we can plainly see. Around that time, you reach the edge of Lockheed's Haven, and indeed, there is a guard standing at the end of the alleyway. You recognize the armor from outside. It is the chain armor underneath a beautiful white silken robe with red trimming. And the guard nods. By order of Inquisitor Martine Sunvale, Lockheed's Haven has been placed under quarantine. Please return within and
Yeah. We know. Matriarch sent me out to talk to you. See what you want.
he looks nervous. To talk to me?
Well, not you in particular, but you, the Inquisition.
Right. Sure. Yes. The Inquisitor, we've sent for him. He will be along shortly, and he'll speak to you. You can wait here if you like.
I'll just lean against, I guess, doorway, wall, whatever it is.
Yeah, I mean, there's a wall. You're in an alleyway. Very well. Gonna jump back over to the rest of the group. It's been about an hour since the theatrics in the courthouse. You are in the Widow's Revenge, and there are... it is the rest of the party, plus Carmen, as well as Inquisitor Sunvale is there as well. You are sitting around a booth at the moment and talking relatively anonymously. Doesn't seem like anyone's listening in. But Inquisitor Sunvale nods. Well, I hope Miss Melody, that I have lived up to my end of the bargain.
I'm going to be quite honest. I didn't really expect you to hold uh to actually do that, but still, and as she how tall is this guy?
So he's an elven man, in his early 30s. He's tall, but certainly not as tall as you. I mean, he's probably like 5'10", 5'11".
Okay. Um she's going to look down at him and
Mhm.
then pull him into a big hug.
Get that? He does look surprised. His usual placid face, ever just studying the moment, is noticeably confused. But he nods. I
Sorry, I'm a hugger. And she releases him.
It's quite all right. To your point, I understand titles like Inquisitor and Inquisition and Investigation and all of that tend to leave something of a. They lead to mistrustful thoughts sometimes, and this is very much purposeful. The idea is to project an aura of authority, but the truth of the matter is the Inquisition is a somewhat small and underfunded organization. I have to make allies wherever I can, more often than not, and I do not make many allies by blatantly lying to people.
Underfunded.
Yes. Though I would never say such things in a public setting.
Don't you guys take care of like making sure there's no dread demons? I mean, like you guys have a really good track record.
He nods. We do have a very good track record of it. Too good of a track record of it. 24 casualties in 600 years. The government finds often that funds can be spent better elsewhere on issues that are more prevalent and visible to the everyday eye. By the very nature of what we do, it is best that no one knows what we do.
Yes, as an agency becomes too good at their job and thwarts the necessary evil, those around you feel that therefore it is not necessary any longer and start to diminish the funding. I know this quite well.
You are wise beyond your years, Rialta Faulkner.
Mother is
Well, that
secretary.
heckin' sucks.
He looks at you, Melody, and says, "Yes, it heckin' sucks." Well,
That doesn't count, by the way. If Fluffles doesn't cover my mouth and she points to the bear, it doesn't count.
Yes, I was meaning to ask about that, actually. In the words of a game I played in my youth, what the fuck is up with that?
You said a bad word. Ooh, and she points at it.
Right. Well, it's rather interesting story. Each of us have such marks, but different.
True.
Let me see if I can find mine. It likes to fly away.
Right now, it's actually perched on your hand.
There you go.
Same, basically.
He
You know.
Yeah, that's
here's mine.
Polly.
Is that
Polly.
mine?
Polly. Mm-hmm.
I never got a name.
very well.
I gave one. I gave each of them a name. That's Polly, and she points to Brooks. Brooks has Nibbles. Caldana has Soots. And Cerberus has Fabius.
I see. And he glances over towards Carmen. And you? And she shakes her head immediately. Don't look at me. I was I joined the party through different circumstances.
She's a more recent acquaintance.
I see. Well, that is good to know. And you see Carmen, who who has been quiet this whole time. Ever since you left the courthouse, actually, she's barely said a word. But she glances down and looks around. Listen, here's the thing. I've been a thief for a very long time. Since I was 14, actually, is when I started. At first, it was to survive, and then later, it became more about the challenge. It became about solving a puzzle that someone actively worked against me to keep me from solving. I always enjoyed the thrill of it. That was appealing to me. It wasn't so much about what I took. It just was about that I could take it, you know? And so I'd usually just give it away to whoever I saw. I didn't really care to have it. You know, I have enough I own a small house here in Minas Grove up in the Copper Lane, but, you know, it's nothing special. I don't care about any of that usually. I won't say there hasn't occasionally been a trinket that I've kept an eye on, but it hasn't been appealing anymore. Every time I think about going and stealing something again, all I see is Mela in my head. And I fucked up. I took a job that I shouldn't have taken. I knew I shouldn't have taken it, but it sounded like it was something I'd never done before, you know? It was a kind of thing I had never tried to do, so a new puzzle that I could try to solve. And my point is, I'm done being a criminal. I'm done breaking into places and stealing things. I'm done taking what doesn't belong to me. I'm ready to do whatever comes next, to do whatever I can to do my part. And she glances over at the Inquisitor. So as your deputy, I'm ready to do whatever it is you need of me, sir. And he looks at her and goes, "That's good. I need you to break in and steal something." And she gives a long, blank look.
Wait, what?
He nods. It is our understanding that the head of the severed hand in Stone's Throw has a particular orb in her possession, one that will allow her to make contact with a being that no one wants her to be able to make contact with. They believe they can use it to contact a dread demon. Whether she intends to use it or sell it is quite irrelevant, to be frank with you. It needs to be recovered. And as it so happens, I have just brought a master thief into my employ.
Convenient.
He nods. It is. Carmen gives a long look. You want me to steal from Gentleman Jesse Silver? And he nods.
Jenna Mahuno?
Gentleman Jesse Silver is it depends. If you are not in the know, she is the owner of the Petrified Weasel, a tavern in Stone's Throw. If, however, you have any connections to the underground, you know that she is also the leader of the Severed Hand, the largest crime syndicate on the continent.
Wait, wasn't that on your jacket or was that on Jack?
It was on all of our jackets.
They
It
were
was
pretending to
Jack's
be.
idea. Martine raises an eyebrow at that. That is a bad idea. She nods. Yes, it was. So you want me to break or to what? Infiltrate her and steal this thing? He nods. Whatever resources you require, we will make sure to provide for you. But yes, you will set out for Stone's Throw tomorrow morning, and may report back as soon as you have made progress. The look on her face is a complicated one because she was serious about giving up her life of crime, but at the same time, holy shit, what a job. Very well. I will I will need the night to start drawing up some plans and provide you a list of what I need in the morning.
I mean,
How that look?
is this like the most difficult thing you've ever done?
She thinks about that for a moment, long moment. She starts, you can tell in her mind she's going through a lot of jobs that she has done. It is up there. I typically was a believer in honor among thieves, so I didn't usually steal from other thieves. Well, not what the law would call other thieves anyway. I would certainly call them thieves. It's going to be different. Not something I've done before. But I have some ideas for how I might approach it. Martine raises an eyebrow. Oh, is there something you'd like to care to share with the class? She nods. Indeed. Gentleman Jesse Silver, I believe, has 7 wives, and as I understand it, she is always looking to add another. So I think that would be my in, and from there I can take it and escape. I will need you to make sure that the records here show that I was hanged at dawn. I can't. I'll have to go by a new alias. He nods. It will be done. Whatever else you need, you can submit to me in writing in the morning. And she nods.
Do you have a new name picked out?
She blinks. Not yet. I presume I'll think of one this evening. She seems to steel herself for whatever is about to be suggested.
She kind of like thinks a bit as I think on it.
Well, while Melody's
And she kind of like she's like stroking her chin and just like looking down at at Carmen. You look like a Cassandra.
Cassandra. Very well then. Cassandra it will be. Cassandra, no last name given. Sounds good. And very well. I will ensure to have no one call you that. And he stands up then, as a guard comes up and approaches him and whispers in his ear. And he thinks for a moment and nods. Tell them I will be along as quickly as I can be. I do have to make a stop at the bookstore on the way. Outside of that, he looks down to the party. Well, it has been quite interesting meeting you all, and I look forward to working with you in the future. You may set out from Moon Bay at your leisure, although sooner the better. Probably no more than 3 or 4 days, please. And when you have completed your task there, you can either find me, do whatever Onredo Tsuki asks, of course. We would want to show proper reverence to the Onredo. And then you may meet me in Stone's Throw if it has been more than a month, and you may meet me here in Mina's Grove if it has been less. Let me phrase that. Either way, he says meet him in Stone's Throw. He'll probably be back by then.
And she kind of, Melody kind of like waves her arm like she's in class.
Yes, Melody.
And she kind of like puts her 2 fingers like to her temple, looking like she's like thinking really hard and casts sending.
Oh, okay. What do you say to him?
She says, "Thank you for releasing Cassandra, and also, can you hear me?"
A moment later.
Marty.
Interesting. Let me think about that, how he's going to reply to that. He seems to be amused for a bit until you say the nickname, at which point the amusement vanishes off his face. I can hear you, and you are most welcome. May I tell you a story?
I love stories. And she like sits down like then and there, like in like crisscross applesauce and just looking up at him.
20 years ago, or sorry, 18 years ago, I was 17. I was completing my training as a member of the City Watch in my village, which is a tiny little village on the way halfway between Lorelei's Meet and South Cross. That day, a dread demon appeared in the city. It was the first dread demon to have appeared in almost 100 years at that point. My father, he was the captain of the city guard at the time. He organized the evacuation. He got people to safety. And he went to save his young, stupid son, who decided to go make a name for themselves and try to slay a dread demon. I was pinned down. It was seconds from tearing my throat open. And as I lay under it, I heard my father scream and bury his blade into the back of this dread demon. It spun and impaled him. He was dead the moment it made contact. He didn't suffer. The dread demon fled then. It was 5 years later when I caught up to it and killed it. I was a member of the Inquisition by that time. And I abandoned my name that day and took my father's name, Martine. I would appreciate you use it.
So during the course of this story, like Melody has been like a bouncing, like excited Dragonborn, but like as it progressed, like the the expression on her face went from like smile disappears to like horror to like when Martine just like describes uh his father dying, she
Mhm.
puts both hands over her mouth, and by the end of it she's there are tears running down her there are tears running down her cheeks,
Mhm.
and she just kind of like goes she kind of like nods and just kind of like uh lowers her head and
He
says I'm sorry.
reaches out and puts a hand on your shoulder. You could not have known. Don't worry about it. But please, Martine is fine. Or, as I'm your boss, Inquisitor Sunvale may be more appropriate, but in private, Martine is fine. Anyway, he straightens himself up. Enough of that. He looks over to Rialta. Ms. Faulkner, before you depart, I do need to speak with you privately. Would you be available this evening?
I should be. I know we need to catch up with Caldana to make sure she is aware of the circumstances. I do not believe we are planning to leave right this moment, so this evening
Excellent.
should be fine.
Excellent. I will find you here then.
At the Widow's Revenge?
Yes.
Very well.
Thank you. And he nods and bows to the rest of you. And he says, you all have the run of the city. Until you depart for Moon Bay, you may do as you like, and you may go where you like as deputies of the Inquisition. So, take care.
Pause. Do we know about what's happening in Lockheed's Haven right now?
You do not.
Okay, thank you.
We don't have to wear your thingies, do we?
Oh, that reminds me. Indeed. He goes, wait right here. And he runs upstairs to his room. And you see him return shortly with 5 badges. Sorry, with 5 badges of Lockheed's Inquisition, and hands one of them to each of you. Well, one of them to 4 of you, and then Rialta, he hands you a second one. And says, "This is for Caldana when we once she has officially joined up, if she does. I cannot force her to." Carmen glanced over like she's like kind of giving that look of like, forget somebody. He's like, "I do not believe you will want to try to enter the severed hand carrying that. So you will be undercover and do without one." She nods. "Fair enough." And then you see Carmen stand and bow to everyone. "It has been an interesting experience meeting you all. Thank you for everything, truly.
Best of luck with your puzzle.
I look forward to solving it."
Mm.
May the
Perhaps-
May the road treat you well.
And you as well, for you have a much longer one to walk than I do. If you are taking the south road, allow me to give you a small piece of advice. When you reach Lorelei's Meet, stay to the south, go to Winter's Grip, and go north from there. Do not take the short
Oh,
road to
I've
the
been
north.
there.
Indeed. You came on the caravan then, I presume, which you absolutely would have. She nods. The caravan may not be running when you get there, so if you do decide to not wait for it and just keep moving on, that is fine, but take the south road to Winter's Grip first and then turn north. Do not take the north road around the Fey Forest.
Fascinating.
You will not think so. Well, you will think so, but Fey Forest is an interesting place.
Perhaps not safe for now, but someday.
Perhaps.
Someday.
Some people might even say bigger is better.
So she bows to you all once more politely and nods. "I am going to retire to my room and start planning, well, everything." She looks excited, genuinely, as she starts to make her way up to her room. And indeed, a moment later, Inquisitor Sunvale bows politely, and then he turns to leave and heads out as well. And you all have the run of the place.
Well, Caldana was going to Lucky's Haven. Do we know that? I thought we did.
Yes,
Okay.
Caldana did say she was going to
Yeah,
Lucky's Haven.
she was reporting in.
Very well. She has not returned yet. Shall we try to meet her?
Oh, can we stop by the market? I want to bring stuff for the tieflings, so they don't have to go out.
I don't see why not.
And I kind of want another latte.
We'll have to think about that one.
Right, you want some? I can get both.
I will consider.
So, to refresh, because Carmen wasn't the only person we came back with. What happened to Callie?
Last you saw, Callie went to said she was returning to her bookstore.
Okay, that's what I thought. But
And
Yep.
the bookstore is
Fine.
like in the
It's on.
hold on.
It's at the far north of the city on the so where the Myriad Markets ends. It's on the north side of that. So if you look on the map right now, this is Pages.
Okay.
Right.
Oh,
Okay.
I thought for some reason it was down here. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. So I want to
No,
go up there.
This is
Fine.
Pages.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, we can like go through the myriad markets,
Yeah.
go to Cali,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and then follow that road. Yeah,
Yep,
that
sure
works.
can.
Follow the
All right, so you all
Cobblestone Road.
head out and you descend into the Myriad Markets. And as it was the first time you were there, it is bustling and lively, although perhaps not as much as the last time you were here, when the city was overcrowded and there was all the uproar about what was happening in Mina's Reach. Now some people have moved on and gone elsewhere, so it's not insanely overly packed like it was last time you were here. It is more what you would expect, what the Myriad Markets typically look like, which is still very busy, but not like that. And you make your way through. Were you going back to Jackson and Hilda's spot?
Yes.
Okay.
Are any of the kids here? The ones that I was kind of like entertaining.
Make a perception check for me.
16.
16. Some. I mean, there are a few who appear to be probably like they're here regularly, even either because maybe their parents run a stall or something of that nature. Something has them here regularly, and yeah, there's a few that you recognize, but mostly new faces.
Okay.
So you once again make your way over to Jackson and Hilda's cart, which is Jackson's Grocery on one side, and on the far side it is Thanks a Latte, run by Hilda.
Can't
The
believe you did it.
What, you didn't think I would borrow some of your stuff? You make your way over to there, and Jackson looks up and sees you, and his first reaction is one of kind of like, "Are we cool?" Like that's kind of the look that he's given to you, but otherwise all seems relatively normal in the area.
Okay. I'm going to walk over to Jack's stall
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of like um look at what he's got.
So Jackson's stall is it's a grocer. So fruits, vegetables. He's got some breads in there, although they don't look like they were like. You get the sense that those were probably like brought in and put on sale. They're probably being resold. The fruits and vegetables look like they might be from one of his farms. They look like they're more like local produce. He also carries a small supply of medicine as well. Not anything like an alchemist would have, but a small supply.
Like like rolls of bandages, potions, that kind of
Yeah,
thing.
bandages, some cure disease kind of stuff. Not magical potions. He doesn't
Mhm.
care. These would be more like herbal remedies. These would be more like what you'd get from from an herbalist at the time.
Okay. I'm gonna like look through his stall, then raise my head, look him straight in the eye, and go, "What do they usually get?"
Jackson looks down. Sorry, Miss Melody. It is first very nice to see you again. Good to see you about the markets once more. What does who usually get?
The god, the hand of uh, the hand of the goddess. What do they usually get when
Oh,
they come to
oh,
your stuff?
Ms. Rashaya, of course. Well, her lists are usually quite extensive. Vegetables, fruits. She special orders meat as well that I bring specifically for her. And outside of that, whatever sundries they require, medicines, bandages, things of that nature.
How much does it usually cost again? Remind
Uh,
me.
Usually, for the whole community, her bills run anywhere from 10 gold on a light day to 25 gold on a busy day. Which of course sounds like an astronomical amount of money, but it is of course to feed their entire community, as I understand it.
And she puts down she reaches into her coin purse and slams down 30 gold coins.
His eyes go very wide as he glances down. Ms. Melody, for what?
For them. Whatever their usual order is.
Right.
Well, yeah, and like anything that you think they'd need, like other things, like I don't know if they need more food or more medicine and stuff.
Um. Right. 30 gold worth. I think I have Rashaya's order from this morning still written down. I could use that as a base, I suppose. And he
Did
you
she
see him
wait?
go dig around for a moment.
She didn't come through. No one came through.
Oh, no. She came and ordered this morning, but I think I still have the list that she'd provided.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense.
He reappears a moment later, and indeed he's holding a list, which everything on it is crossed off because he crossed it off as he did it earlier, but he can still read it. So he goes through. Well, I don't have everything. Like I said, I bring the meat specifically for them. I don't have that on me here, but everything else I think I could provide, and the difference in gold I could make up for in extra vegetables. That would be fine. I also have some preservatives. I could also put in some pickled cucumbers and whatnot.
That'd be nice.
Very well. He seems very excited as he starts to create a rather large grocery order for you. While this is happening, Caldana, it's been about 45 minutes. You see an elven man and 2 guards approaching. The guards, one of them is holding a sack that it's not particularly large, but it definitely has something in it. It's kind of hard to tell what as he it's slung over his shoulder. The other guard doesn't have anything, just their sword on their hip and their shield. And the elven man who's approaching does not seem to be armed, or at least he doesn't appear to be as he approaches. He also is not wearing the armor of the Inquisition, but instead he wears has a gray vest with a red tie and a white button-down shirt beneath it, and black slacks and leather shoes. His hair is pulled up. His silver hair is pulled up into a neat ponytail, and he has a pair of rimless glasses on as well. But he approaches and looks to the guard who had been waiting. I presume this is. He looks over at you, Caldana. Ah, you must be Caldana.
A little bit like surprised. How do you know that?
You see him do this. And indeed, there is a phoenix on your cheek at the moment. He smiles. Then let me begin with an introduction. My name is Inquisitor Martine Sunvale, and it is excellent to make your acquaintance, Miss Caldana, Ara's daughter. Am I correct?
Just nods.
Excellent. And he looks over to the other, whom he does not recognize, but he kind of narrows his eyes. And a hand of the goddess as well. This is quite an honor. Rashaya regards him more mistrustfully, where she's like, is this guy patronizing me? He nods. I understand that you wished to speak with me, and I can probably hazard a guess as to why.
Matriarch mostly wants to know, what
Yes.
you want here.
Yes, indeed. The reports that we received from your friends indicate that the issues that we faced in New Alcana, that they originate here. That the tieflings who summoned the various fiends, and as I understand it, eventually became fiends themselves, are originally of Lockheed's Haven. To that end, I have placed a quarantine around here until a proper investigation can be carried out to assess and determine whether or not there is any further risk of, dread demons.
Might be slightly screaming internally.
I mean,
Remind me, who was it that I know one of us read the journal that Kuldan had. Who was it that read that, and did we take it with us?
It was
don't remember
Brooks,
that.
I believe, who read it. And I believe Brooks does also have it, yes.
That
didn't write it in the sheet.
sounds right.
Yeah, I believe Brooks has Kuldan's journal.
Let me even open my notes at all because I never did that. Because
I did not put it in the quest item list. Sorry.
He looks to Rashaya, speaks up at that point. Nods. Well, if what you're looking for is an assurance, as a hand of the goddess, I am happy to inform you that we take matters of blood magic and demons extremely seriously in Lockheed's Haven. Even were they still alive, they would never be allowed to return here. He looks at her and seems to gauge her for a long moment. I see. My concern is that these men knew how to do blood magic and knew how to commune with the fiendish, the abyssal, which would indicate that they learned it somewhere. Might you have an idea as to where? And Rashaya, she stiffens up a little bit, not liking where this conversation is going. No, I cannot say I have any idea where they would have learned such a thing, although I will say that situations like this do tend to force people into a hopeless state, do they not? Inquisitor Sunvale nods. I understand the frustration of what this is, but you please, I need you to understand that it is my task, however unenviable it may be at times, to ensure the safety of this realm from the likes of dread demons. Now, I do not, based on the testimony I received from the adventurers in New Alcana and in Mina's Reach, I have no reason to believe that anything untoward is happening within Lockheed's Haven. But it is my responsibility to conduct an investigation, and to that end, I would have you inform your matriarch that we must be allowed access to enter, to ask our questions, and to investigate as needed. When we have completed it, we will leave.
Did we
Rashaya.
figure out who had the book?
Brux has it.
Okay, Brooks does for sure.
It's not in the loot, so it must
No.
have been.
I
nobody
remember
else.
I remember Brooks being the one saying she went over and read it, and then unless you all didn't bring it, I would say Brooks has it.
Yeah, that's fine.
I was
It's
gonna
not in
say,
the
we were taking
communal
all
list.
the other books, so that makes
Mhm.
sense.
Caldana's gonna kind of frown a little bit. Brooks didn't give you the book.
The book. Which book?
I already forgot his name.
Gul'dan.
Gul'dan had a journal, mostly ramblings.
She did not. Although I appreciate you letting me know. I will give her the benefit of saying that it slipped her mind.
Slipped my mind.
It will. That would go a long way to establishing perhaps how he learned such things. To that end, I do still need to conduct my investigation here. The Inquisition is nothing if not thorough. I ask that you go and speak to your matriarch and ask her whether we may enter. I would much rather do this peacefully than forcefully. He glances to you, Caldana. He looks at Rashaya first, who nods. I will speak with her. Please, I ask that you wait outside until you have been given the clear to enter. Many tieflings within, many of my brothers and sisters. She seems to be thinking about how to say what she wants to say, and it's actually Inquisitor Sunvale who interrupts. I am stationed normally in Stone's Throw, and I have frequently had to work around Hell's Hold. I understand that when outsiders enter into your communities, it is frequently an unpleasant experience for everybody involved. That is not why I am here. As I did for those outside, as soon as I have established that there is nothing untoward here, we will leave. We are not here to be destructive or disruptive. She kind of glances over at you, Caldana, trying to like, what do you think?
I'm gonna insight that. Like,
Go ahead. Insight check.
10.
Inquisitor Sunvale is a very hard man to read. He has been doing this for a minute, and he is well-spoken and somewhat charming, which can also hide a lot of things when you have those things going for you. But his reasoning is sound. What you say, it is good that he recognizes that, like, hey, I'm not stupid. I know what it looks like when armed guards enter into a tiefling community. That's gone bad in the past. But you don't think he's lying. You certainly don't see any reason to believe that.
Caldana just nods. He seems sincere.
He smiles. She nods. I will return and speak with the matriarch. Thank you, Caldana.
Just nod.
And she turns and heads back in. Meanwhile, the Inquisitor looks to you, Caldana. I had the distinct pleasure of speaking with your friends for a good bit of the day today. You'll be pleased to know that your ally, Carmen, has been cleared of her charges. Well, sort of. She's actually been convicted of her charges. However, her punishment has been circumvented.
Dead name. Dead name.
I mean,
God.
she isn't to be hung till morning. She should still be alive right now.
Good to hear.
I have the others. I have deputized into Lackey's Inquisition. A lot of you have done more for rooting out and slaying fiends than, well, most Inquisitors alive today, save maybe for myself and the Grand Inquisitor. I would extend the same offer to you. You would be the first tiefling to ever be a member. And I do not overlook the importance of that.
What would this involve?
So, a deputy of the Inquisition will receive a monthly stipend as payment. You will answer to me as far as your direct report, although, of course, the Grand Inquisitor would have the authority to give you an order as well. You, the others, and you as well, if you choose to, have been directed to go to Moon Bay and speak with the Onrado there. I need her to be brought up to speed on all that has transpired here, and as you have firsthand accounts of it, I would have her hear it from you. Then you may meet me in Stone's Throw or wherever else I send for you. You also will be granted a measure of diplomatic immunity. I must stress that while being a member of the Inquisition does allow you some latitude with the laws, if it becomes a problem for us, you would much rather deal with the law than you would with the Inquisition's internal affairs department.
Noted.
Excellent.
I suppose if the rest of them took you up on that, there's no point I don't.
Excellent. Ms. Rialta Folknir has your badge. Yes, I gave them the run of the town for now until you need to leave for Moon Bay. Believe Melody said that she wanted to go to the markets. You might catch them there.
All right.
He nods his head. Very lovely to meet you, Caldana. I look forward to working with you in the future.
Just nod and head off to find the party.
I wonder if he realizes that one of the people he gave the run of the town to was Melody.
I mean, when he says you have the run of the place, he said he doesn't have a direct assignment for you on where to go. Whatever you need to do, go ahead. He's saying.
Yeah.
You're on your own time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You're dismissed. At
We
the
are
moment.
dismissed from his orders.
Correct.
Except for me tonight.
So, in the markets, this man has spent a great deal of time gathering up a large set of groceries, almost 6 bags worth. But he presents them all on the cart to you. Caldana, you are arriving at almost the same time as he is finishing up, as he is getting the last of these groceries bagged. And you see your party, indeed. You see Jackson, the owner of the stall, creating a very large grocery order, and Melody looking very excited about it as you approach.
While he's actually doing this, Melody has gone over to Things a Latte for another latte.
Oh no.
And
Nope.
she's also picking up a bunch of baked goods, like breads and stuff.
Hilda not only makes you a delightful latte, she also gives you a box containing 6 sticky buns in it and 6 breads of different made with different fruits.
Neat.
Mhm.
And she's going to also ask if there's a specific type of dessert that Hilda would recommend that would be easy on an elderly jaw, like something easy to chew on.
She thinks about that for just a moment and nods. Yes, actually, I have a sweetbread that is quite easy to chew. She goes under and takes out a wrapped sweetbread and hands it to you.
Neat. Okay. And how much? How much?
She glances over at the stack of 30 gold pieces and is like, "You're covered."
I'm imagining as Caldana walks up, she goes from glaring at the grocer to the look of horror at Melody surrounded by sweets and a latte.
Something like that.
Wait, sorry. How much was the thing?
She did not take any money from you. You just spent 30 gold pieces at the grocer.
Yep.
You're covered.
You're
You're good.
fine.
What's everyone's passive perception?
Not great. 13.
16.
The
What?
answer is, what is Sarah's passive perception? It's 17.
17.
I tease.
12.
It's just because all my characters have high passive perceptions right now.
What was the second highest that I heard? I heard a 16.
Yeah, there's a 16.
Whoever had the 17 and the 16, Sarah, and whoever had the 16,
I think Melody.
Melody. You both see something that is strange happen. While Jackson is busy gathering up these groceries and putting them in bags, you see an apple that is on near the edge of the cart. You see it lift up as if levitating and then vanish.
Like someone stole it, kind of vanish.
As in, it disappeared. It lifted up and then it vanished.
What on earth? It's gonna go over to the cart and investigate.
Make an investigation check for me.
Oh, these
Like
are
the whole cart disappeared? Hold on.
No, just the apple. One apple lifted up off the cart and then vanished.
This unless nope, that's a
Oh, I
7.
see.
I only get a +1, so
Melody, do you do anything with this knowledge?
do you want to investigate the missing apple? Because I only rolled a 7. I only get +1 on investigation rolls.
I'm gonna use an inspo to reroll that.
Okay.
Fair enough.
I have 8. It's okay. Shit, where is it? Just rolled it.
Oh
my
jeez.
fucking God.
10, I guess, is
10.
the highest we have.
All right. So you look around and you do. It's hard to describe it, although in some ways it reminds you of being in the mines all of a sudden. Not in the way of like everything feels horrible, like where you don't have the choking feeling or the other thing, but like you're being watched. You definitely get that feeling again.
What is going on
It
with
was
this
just
girl?
the one apple that was taken. Nothing else.
Well, I mean, it was just the one apple, although as you are now there, you see on the other side of the cart as a sticky bun levitates up into the air and then vanishes.
Someone is using magic of some sort to get rid of these things.
Hold on. I'm gonna cast Dispel Magic in this immediate area.
Huh.
Or actually, hold on. I'm gonna point at the cart
Uh-huh.
and cast Dispel Magic.
Okay.
That's the face
All
of
right.
someone ruined Callie's plans.
All right. Go ahead and cast Dispel Magic. Let me. Can I get the text of Dispel Magic?
Choose one creature, object, or magical effect within range. Any spell of 3rd level or lower on the target ends.
Yeah.
Is this a 4th level or higher spell?
No, it is not.
Okay, then it automatically fails. Or well, not fails, but it automatically ends.
It automatically ends. Okay.
Dispel. Yeah.
So as you do this, right as you see a pear being lifted up off the cart,
A pair
and-
of what?
like a pear, the fruit. Sorry. And as it lifts up, right as this Dispel Magic hits, a kind of like a burst of sparkles almost goes out, and all of a sudden this magic dispels, this glamour dispels, and you see someone about, they're probably about 4 feet tall, with a gray cloak over their back and over their hood, and over their head. And the moment they realize, they freeze up for a moment and then take off running.
Chase. Immediate.
Also, Callie, this is where I mentioned I now have a 40-foot move speed because barbarian.
40 feet?
Yep.
Yeah, you get plus 10-foot movement at level 5.
So
Also,
Oh,
do I
why?
do I have enough time after casting Dispel Magic to cast Hold Person?
They're both full actions, I think.
they are both relaxed. I'm going to say no in this case.
Okay.
This person takes off running, and Caldana, you've got a 40. So here's what's going on. We're in this tightly clustered area of carts and whatnot, and this person is running full speed through them. They are very small, very easy to like roll under them or dodge around them. Chasing after them is actually quite difficult. I will let you make an acrobatics check at disadvantage.
I'm tempted
Brooks,
to
you may do the
ask about
same.
an athletics and just
Yeah.
roll through it.
I mean, you could also do that.
Yeah, pretty much. Mostly
I-
because the bonus there is higher. Still disadvantage.
I have a spell I could try, potentially.
Mm-hmm. You may certainly try.
Still disadvantage or no?
If
Uh,
we're doing athletics to just
barrel
bust
through.
the crowd.
The tiefling's horns are down and she is charging.
I was
Oh
gonna say,
God. Well, that's gonna
tiefling
murder
and-
somebody.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say, Tiefling and Uruk, we're in like a mostly human town. We are bigger than them.
You are bigger than most people here. I mean, it's a mostly halfling town, so yeah, you are.
Oh yeah.
You are bigger than most
do
people
I
here.
Just fucking part the crowd of people.
I would say if you want to do athletics and just barrel people out of the way, they're going to be pissed at you. But you can do athletics at regular.
Sorry.
Rialto, what do you
Sorry,
have?
officially position
I
business.
would like to cast. I would like to cast Entangle.
Entangle. Nice. Okay. Very well then.
So when I do it in the area that he'd be running into, and he needs to make a strength saving throw, or he's restrained.
Well-
Spelling that garbage.
They have a -2 to strength.
Oh, well, that's lucky for me.
Wow. Wow.
I don't think that actually rolled.
It did. I heard the ding.
It did. You
Oh.
just rolled
you
the
got
ones
you rolled a
both
nat
times.
one is what you did.
Both
2
times.
nat ones.
That is the unluckiest thing I've ever seen.
That's okay. I rolled.
Yikes! That's a
I
bad.
rolled on my dice a 3. Decided let's inspo and get rid of that garbage. Second die rolls a 2.
Okay.
Oh my
So-
god.
So, Caldana, You start trying to chase after this person full speed, barreling through anyone that is in the way. But they are, as they're running, like toppling things over behind them, and you literally trip as you cannot quite get the clearance on a barrel that gets knocked over. And Brooks, shortly after, there's a big tiefling in the way, and you barrel into her.
Clearly, given those roles, this person is meant to.
However, Rialta raises up her hand, and an entanglement catches onto their ankle, and starts to like drag them down. And you see this person kind of struggle and pull at it, and then whip out a dagger and cut the entangling vine. However, they were not able to get as far away, so you may all continue your pursuit as they barrel out of the Myriad Markets now and into the street, and you watch them dive into an alleyway in between. What's that place called? In between the City Hall. She's Criminy Callie. City Hall and the building adjacent to it. You see her. You see them barrel into this alleyway.
Well, Rialto tried. She's not running. She has 25 feet of movement because she's a dwarf, and dwarves suck sometimes. So she's gonna look at that and go,
With them having, you're still able to keep up though, because they lost half their movement speed being entangled. So you are still able to keep up if you're running.
So if y'all want to get on your feet again,
So-
Of course, yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
of course.
I'm gonna BRB just 5 seconds.
And Melody, what are you doing?
Shit, I thought I thought I was out of the running after
No.
the
No. You're still giving chase. You spent your first turn, quote unquote, basically chasing and casting the dispel magic. Now it's back around to you. And what would you like
Okay.
to do?
I would like to cast Hold Person on this person.
You may attempt to cast Hold Person. What's the
It
save?
is Wisdom saving throw 15.
Well, they have a +0 to Wisdom, and that's a nat 1. Cool story. So, indeed, Caldana, Brooks, you both you pound a fist on the ground and like stagger back up to your feet and keep chasing. Indeed, as you get to this alleyway, you can see that near the back of it there is a stone fence that's about 8 feet high, and beyond it there is the river, the Undal River, which runs through the center of Mina's Grove, separating the Copper Lane, the Bronze Lane, the Silver Lane, the Gold Lane, the residential district from the rest of the city. And as you get into the alleyway, you can see this halfling beginning to try to scale up it, and then suddenly halfway just freeze and go stock rigid as the Hold Person spell from Melody, who is catching her breath as she approaches from behind, holding her hand out. But they have this person in a Hold Person spell.
You gotta stop. I can't
I'm
run
gonna
too
pick him
well.
up.
Okay, I'm gonna let Sarah. I'm gonna let Sarah get back from the bathroom before we deal with this. Oh. All right, Melody, I'll give you credit. Dispel magic was not a way I thought of getting around that particular problem.
I was
But
like,
It is effective. I can't argue with that. It does dispel the effect.
Seems like the most straightforward.
It does, but as so often with Bard, I forget that they have it. It's like when she tried to use Hold Person on the Demonette, I was like, oh yeah, Bard gets that. Oh no, if that hits, that's going to be real unfortunate. And then like Dissonant Whispers, you see like, you forget how powerful Bard spells are sometimes, actually.
Dissonant Whispers is the only offensive spell that Melody has. Everything else is like utility.
I love it. It's so good. Yeah, no, you forget sometimes that that Bard spells can be problematic, actually.
Bards are like 3/4 casters, basically.
Jack of all
Pretty
trades,
much, yeah.
master of none.
Yep,
I dip my finger into one of each school of magic, but like I don't excel in any of them.
Yeah, it do be like
Would
that.
would you say you just used the tip?
Jesus.
Yeah. Tip
I
of the
mean-
horn.
Right, yeah. I mean, Melody would say that. She didn't mean anything by it, but she would definitely say it.
Absolutely.
As the
Or tip
matriarch
of her
just
claw.
winces. Bards are really good. Bard is one of the few that I've never played. I've never played a Bard before.
This is my first time playing a bard.
Oh, very nice. I've played a lot of Paladins. I've played a lot of Clerics. I've played Rogue once. I've never played Fighter. I've played Barbarian once. And I've played Sorcerer once. I think that's everything. But yeah, as soon as Sarah gets back, we'll continue. Rob sends his sincerest apologies for Cerberus not being able to be here. Cerberus is struggling to keep up. He's a little winded at the moment. Has not caught up to the group just yet.
He is running through with like fucking full plate armor,
Yeah.
a shield, and a sword
Actually-
in like a crowd of people and carts.
Actually, that's exactly what Cerberus is doing. He's at the forge working on getting his armor
Aha.
crafted. That's what he's doing this session. He's working on getting his armor crafted.
Oh, did he
Excellent.
get all the
Hello
mats?
there.
He's got what he needs
We
at
got
this
the
point to be
good-
able to do it.
You
Yeah.
got the
Okay.
gold, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got the gold. Hi, Selphane. Welcome in as we run through. We're just waiting on Sarah to get back so that we can.
Sure, you just buy a break really quick for me.
Yeah, actually, if anyone needs to take a break, go ahead.
I should grab some water so I don't get yelled at by people.
All right, go ahead and grab some water. Go take a bio break if you need one. Sarah, welcome back. Melody cast a hold person on them, and they rolled a 1. So
super effective.
yeah, this person was indeed held personed.
I was gonna say I'm looking at all of the stuff in there. Was our highest roll between all of us in that entire sequence the highest roll on a die a 7?
Correct, I believe. Yeah, I believe. Yeah, there were some garbage investigation rolls.
Whole lot of awfulness.
Yeah, some terrible athletics rolls, some all-time worst athletics rolls. A double 1 on an
Do you-
athletics check,
do you
which
guys-
is insane.
Do you guys know? Anybody know? Oh, what's it called? David Cage games.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Blech.
Okay. So you know how he loves his quick time events that don't actually do anything?
Most of them don't matter.
Yeah, that's what exactly this scene was. It was one of those scenes where you don't correctly do the quick time event, but at least hey, there's still a success at the end.
Well, there was only. I point out there was only a success at the end because you hit them with the entangling vines. If that hadn't happened, because you did, like they failed the check. They got hit by it. They just cut them to keep running. But only because of that did I allow you all another round.
I helped.
You did help immensely, I would say. What on earth?
It was a very big moment of
Yeah. This is big brain time.
Yes, exactly. All right, welcome back, everybody. So indeed, you have caught this the halfling in the gray cloak that we learned about in session 1. That was has been stealing from this cart for a minute now, and they would be struggling if they could speak or move, but they cannot. They are held personed right now. So what do you do?
I'm gonna pick him up,
Mhm.
not gently,
Oh, okay.
all but snarling, like the flames of her hellish rebuke, like kind of lighting her mouth a little bit.
Indeed. You pick this person up, and as you yank a little bit, the hood of the cloak goes down to reveal that this is not a halfling. The young girl that you have picked up is, she's probably looks to be 9 or 10, you would guess. Her face is quite dirty, and both of her eyes are milky white, suggesting she is probably blind. She looks starved. Her face is, or her skin is gaunt against her flesh, and she looks like she has not bathed in quite some time. And she cannot move. She is currently in the hold person, so she is just. You do see her eyes dart around, although you're not sure what she would be looking at. She cannot see, as far as you can tell, unless that's just what her eyes look like. But yeah, she is paralyzed at the moment.
This raises some questions.
Yeah. What race did you say?
Human.
Human.
We thought halfling, but that's because they're racist against halflings.
They
Well,
just didn't realize that it was a little
size-
kid.
I know.
Yeah,
Just
the
teasing.
size would be appropriate.
Yeah.
And
teasing.
we just reestablished it's the town. It's not profiling, honest.
Oh,
They always say
that
against.
Oh, that hit hard.
Anyways, so Caldana's carrying her. I will be following up behind.
So you've grabbed her at the end of this alleyway. What are you doing? She can't move or say anything.
Caldana, now seeing that it's a literal child, is more gentle.
For the best.
Did she manage to get one of the sticky buns?
So as you go and make a perception check, actually, for me.
Okay. That is a 10.
It's easy enough to see, though, as Caldana has lifted them up off the ground from their belt line. Underneath the cloak from their belt line, there is a bag, and so you can guess well enough that these things disappearing were she was picking one up and then pulling it into her cloak.
Okay. I'm gonna walk forward and I'm going to like we're like blocking the alley, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm gonna kneel down so I'm like eye to eye with this blind young girl. And just kind of like hold out one of my claws for her to just kind of uh like brush against the palm of her one of her palms.
Mm-hmm. Well, she doesn't move or do anything because she is in a hold person spell.
I'm
Nailed.
going to release the hold person spell. And I'm going to cast Zone of Truth.
Interesting. Okay, very well. So you cast Zone of Truth. What's the save on that?
It's her save.
That is a charisma saving throw.
What's your
15.
15?
Okay. Well, she has a -3 to charisma, so. Okay. I rolled a -1, so she fails hard. But she starts to struggle and squirm as soon as the hold person spell comes off. Release me. Release me. Release me. What's happening?
Hold on.
We won't hurt you. We just need you to answer a few questions for us.
Can't answer questions. Don't know. Don't know anything. Don't know what you're talking about.
What's your name?
Melisandre. Hello?
Sandra.
Yes, Melisandre. That's my name. Hi.
Why did you take stuff?
Was hungry. Needed to feed the goat. Must feed the goat. Always feeding.
Who-
Always hungry.
Who's the goat?
You seek the goat?
She kind of looks at the group, sees the
Shrug.
Zone of Truth cast, and goes, "I'd like to see the goat."
I will take you to the goat. If you will let me go. We must bring it food.
Are you hungry?
She thinks about that for a moment. Yes, very hungry. But goat must be fed first, always. It is important.
You can eat the sticky bun.
No, not until after the goat has eaten. Only then can I
Mm-mm.
eat.
Mm-mm. You eat that right now, young lady.
Well, it's a Zone of Truth. It's not a compel.
No, it is not a compel.
No, it's not.
Those are very different things.
She shakes her head. No, Can't. Won't.
She appears to show signs of, perhaps some distress. Maybe we should allow us to see the goat, and then maybe we can get her some help.
Take us to this.
Goat.
I will take you. Yes, I will take you. Follow after me. I can take you now.
Melisandre, do you have other family?
I have the goat. It is my family.
Is that the only family you've known?
The only family I've known. Yes, for... Tries to think for a long time. Many years. Don't know.
Did the goat teach you how to go poof?
Yes.
So
Yes, the cloak was a gift of the goat.
Gift of the goat. Okay.
Hmm.
Oh, Sarah's groaning because she knows what this is from. Damn it, Callie. Why did this come back?
She has made an appearance in a past campaign before.
Oh, God.
I will point out, Sarah, in my
Mhm.
defense, she
Mhm.
has made an appearance in every campaign I have ever run in D&D.
All right.
In D&D being the key phrase.
She doesn't fit so well in Star Wars.
Melisandre, how old are you?
Let's see. Was 6 when found the goat, so she starts counting on her fingers. She gets up to 10 and then frowns. More.
Rialta will put a finger next to her outstretched fingers.
She nods as you put one extra finger there. That many.
Okay, 11. I see.
Uh-huh.
Can you? So you cannot see, or can you see? I can't tell.
I see what the goat wishes me to see.
You see with the goat. Okay, so what do you see before you right now?
Whatever I need to see. I saw that you held up one finger for me.
Do you see my face?
No.
I'm
And then-
going.
She says no, and then a moment later goes, now I do.
Oh, this is most bizarre.
I'm gonna, do what I can to like check out her eyes and everything, and like, did they change during that?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah. I will allow you to do what skill are you trying to use to do this? Are you trying to do this from a standpoint of medicine? A standpoint. Okay. Go ahead and make a medicine check for me.
yeah, just because I'm trained in that, so seems like a decent. That is an 18.
Yeah, this girl blind. Like
Okay.
no, she was probably born
she's not
blind.
faking it or
No.
anything.
Yeah, she doesn't look like she's faking it. You don't see anything to suggest like a glamour is doing this. Her eyes look like they have probably never been used. She was probably born blind.
Okay.
To the goat. Yes, do you want to go?
Aldana just is looking very confused at the rest of the party, like, do I put her down?
Yeah, let's put her down and let us see this goat, Melisandre.
Yes, I will take you to the goat. Follow me. And she hurries off quickly. But of course, she has pretty short legs. You're able to keep up with her.
That's good.
She takes you through another alleyway. Now that she's not being chased, she can go through the alleyway she usually goes to, which has a broken hole in the bottom of it, bottom of the wall in the back, and is able to scurry underneath it. The rest of you, I would say Rialta, you are able to follow her. The rest of you have to go over, which is not too difficult. You're able to climb it in relatively quick fashion. Caldana, you're almost tall enough just to reach over and pull yourself over. So is Melody.
I'm tiny.
Actually, all three of you are tall. Yeah, you're.
I'm
You, none, of you,
Everybody's
Yeah.
everybody's
Yeah.
tall except for me.
none of y'all have a problem getting over it, except for Rialta, who just follows her under.
I was gonna say there's Cerberus isn't here, so it's 3 talls and a small.
When you come out on the other side, you are on a embankment that leads down towards the Undal River that flows through the city. She looks down, and you can see one of the bridges, the bridge leading across the Bronze Lane. It's called, fittingly enough, the Bronze Bridge. On it, there are guards that are watching and keeping those who do not belong out of that side of the city. But she slowly guides you down towards the river, and then using the posts of the bridge, just carefully manages to move along. Here's something y'all notice. For a girl who cannot see, she knows this path real well. and she doesn't seem to have any problem navigating it. She also doesn't seem to have any problem telling when the guards are looking and when they're not.
This goat is very concerning.
Mm-hmm. So you do all eventually get to the other side, although you're all very wet now that she took you through the river. But you scale the other side and dip into the many various alleyways of the Bronze Lane, which on the southern side is on the Bronze Lane, the northern side is the Copper Lane, and indeed the houses on the northern side are significantly less nice than the ones on the southern side. You start making your way through, and in between two buildings, you can see what was probably at one time a storage shed. You would guess that whoever lived there had a storage shed, but the house looks mostly abandoned, and the shed has had a hole broken into the side of it. And inside, as you all enter through this hole, it actually leads into the house, or at least a room of the house. You don't know if you're able to get any further in, or if the doors are locked or anything like that, but you come out in a room of a house.
Okay.
This room looks like it has not been tended to in a very long time. There is a few bundles of cloth on the ground that look like a makeshift bed. There's also some hay in here, and indeed, over in one corner of the room, there is a clump of hay with a goat sitting on it.
Well then,
Just normal ass goat.
Yeah, perception check the goat.
It's a relatively normal-looking goat, except it is also blind.
Okay.
She stands and bows as you enter. All worship the goat. Welcome in.
It's just called the goat.
What would you
It does-
call it?
I don't know. I didn't know if he had a different name.
He is the goat.
I see. And how did you find the goat?
The goat found me, as the goat finds all of its believers.
But you found us.
Indeed, and you are here. You have come.
Is the goat speak?
Huh?
Does the goat speak?
No, the goat cannot speak. At least not to me. My ears are unworthy. Perhaps it will speak with you. Would you like to try to talk to it?
Yes, actually, I would.
Okay. Approach the goat.
All right. I'm going to. I assume that this is a half CR level. I'm going to transform into a goat.
All right. You transform into a goat.
There's just a sparkle
her-
of energy, and Rialta's a goat.
And Melisandre.
Dark Flux.
Melisandre, as you do this, drops down to her knees and begins to literally bow and worship in front of you.
At her or the original goat?
At Rialta, who just turned into a goat.
Okay.
Okay, I've never seen Rialsa turn into something, right?
No,
Not like this.
you've seen her
It's
turn into her
starring-
constellations.
Yeah.
You've never seen her actually turn into an animal.
Which I can
I'll
do.
leave over to Brooks. Should we tell the Inquisition about this?
I can still speak, can I? In beast form, I can never remember. They don't make it very clear.
No, you can't.
I don't think so.
In your mental stats, but you cannot speak.
And then she goes back and looks to the goat.
As you do that, the goat bleats back at you.
What does it mean?
The goat has said, "Have you brought food?"
Your follower Melisandre appeared to have brought food, but she is also hungry.
The goat.
Kamala, kumbaya.
You see the goat look over in the direction of Melisandre and just blink. She can eat when she wants. It says in a bleat.
Mm-hmm. Did you give her the sight?
The goat glances and shakes its head. No, but she thinks I did. It's weird.
Meh. Who gave her such sight?
The goat looks at you for a long moment. Lady, I'm a goat. I don't know.
Meh. Thank you for the information. I will be coming human shortly.
I think you mentioned food.
Very well. She's still in her goat form, and she goes and
You watch as these two have had a full conversation and bleat and mraz.
and
I'm explaining to Kodana. It's a magic thing. I don't know how to do it.
she's
but
gonna
so-
go to Melisandre and nudge for the apple with her nose.
Melisandre is literally prostrating before you at the moment, and she reaches in and takes the apple out of her bag and holds it up to you as if it is like a chalice that she is offering you.
Rialta's gonna just take it carefully in her mouth, but not bite it, and then go over and put it in front of the goat. There's an apple there.
The goat nods its head and leans down and eats the apple in one fell go, and then curls up and goes to sleep.
Rialta is going to transform back at that moment.
Mhm.
The goat says that you should eat the sweets, dear child.
She looks up. You can speak to it.
I can.
You can communicate with the goat. You are the one who was promised.
I'm sorry.
The goat has promised me that one would come, one who could speak with the goat, one who could understand,
Oh,
one who would
don't
finally
say that,
instruct me.
child.
I see. And what does that mean for you?
That I am to do as you say.
Hmm.
I am your faithful follower.
Faithful follower. Well, I was a teacher for children your age. I think I can handle this.
She kind of glances down.
Please eat the sweets, dear.
As you order, yes. And she reaches in and takes out a sweet and just starts to eat it quietly.
She's gonna look to the group.
Right.
We will need to find someone to adopt this child. She is crazy.
Is that not what you just...
She said it very quietly. She didn't say it in front of Melisandre. She said it very
that-
quietly to the group.
Is that not what you just... I thought you just adopted her.
I did. We'll have to see how long that lasts. I
You're
don't know.
a mother. Oh.
She
Presumably
blinks.
Somebody who will be remaining in town, unlike us.
Exactly. She blinks, looks down at Melisandre at Melody's comment, goes, "My mother would be so proud."
She,
Oh.
this young girl, is hungrily eating. She looks like she has not eaten in some time. Probably because the goat has not told her to. Probably because the goat does not speak common. Or human. Or common. Yeah, that'd be human.
This was
Uh,
all we heard during that entire exchange. Just
Correct. That is the exchange that happened.
Rialta will bow her head. I apologize. I know I was quite clear about my constant forms, but yes, I also know the art of shapeshifting into certain animals.
Nod of respect.
So please do not call the Inquisition, she says to Caldana.
Melody,
yes.
make an insight check for me.
Oh no.
What?
Insight check for me, please.
3. I'm gonna use a fucking inspiration. What is up with my rolls today?
Oh, yeah,
No,
all of our
all
rolls
of
are
our
just
rolls.
bad. Yikes.
Oh,
my God.
3.
Can I help?
3 and 2. No,
Cal's like,
you can't.
I can't.
There's
didn't-
not something you could help with.
Okay.
I'm too fascinated by this.
Yeah,
this-
but what's
this whole,
happening here?
Well,
goat
I will-
business.
Yeah, this is crazy.
This is
You're-
going to make her for a really cool song.
This was not covered in orientation.
no.
She hasn't even gotten orientation.
We will, is there, perhaps we can see if there is a place she would go. I do not know if there are orphanages in Mina's Reach that may be more suitable for her.
I cannot go.
You cannot go?
No,
Why is that?
I am the keeper of the goat. Who
What if the goat came with you?
the goat goes where it pleases.
Well, I will make sure that the goat goes where you are comfortable. The goat cares for your well-being very much and wishes for you to be well fed and well cared for. But the goat has limitations due to his physical form. That is
Have you?
why
And
I
she
am
kind of-
here.
She kind of like Melody kneels like in front of Melisandre and goes, maybe have you thought maybe the reason that you can't speak to the goat is because you're not taking care of yourself? Maybe the goat is like too worried to talk.
She
If you take care of yourself, maybe the goat will speak to you.
seems to think about that for a moment as she looks at you, almost suspiciously. Or maybe you just want the goat to speak to you, not me. Wait, I have not inducted you all. Would you like to become official members?
We best do that now, before this gets any farther. How do we become official members for
Yes.
the goat?
Yes, I will induct you all now. She runs over and pulls out of the in the corner of the room 5 cloaks. They do
What?
not look like hers. They look like goat blankets. That's what they probably are. But she brings them over to you and starts to distribute them to you one at a time. They are gross. They're not pleasant. But she says, you may put this on and I will induct you.
Rialto doesn't blink; she just puts it on.
Shamala
I'll put it
Kumbaya
on
is
with-
what I'm hearing right now. It's
Yeah.
very Cult of the Lamb, but instead it's Cult of the Goat.
Yeah.
Aldana puts it on with what's the worst that could happen? I end up with something else living in my head.
Very true.
That's true.
But you might have so you could have a goat with Lestisha. I'm sure she'd be thrilled.
All right. So who all puts the cloak on?
I put the cloak on.
I'm still kind of like looking at it and then to the goat, as if like I'm seeking approval from the goat,
The goat has
feigning
long since
seeking approval.
the goat has long since curled up and gone to sleep.
Okay.
The goat is
Goat is-
snoozing.
The goat is doing a big snooze.
Mm-hmm.
No, I shall abstain.
Brox abstains. Melody.
I'll put it on after some deliberation.
All right, and I'm gonna say Cerberus also abstains. All right. So 3 of you put it on.
Oh, I'm sad he isn't here now. I would love to hear him go on about this.
Yeah. So 3 of you put on these goat blankets. They smell real bad. But as you do, she stands and she lets out a bleat that you are relatively certain that she has practiced a lot. But she goes, "Meow." Yeah, like that, basically. And then she places a hand on each of your shoulders and repeats the bleat once again before she nods and bows her head to you. Welcome, welcome to the order. Thank you, welcome, welcome. You now understand the greatness of the goat.
Praise be to goat.
Praise be. Yes,
Indeed, indeed. Is this where you sleep?
yes, of course. Well, she motions to some of the rags on the floor. There, I sleep there. I will prepare a similar spot for you that you may also sleep here.
Oh, remember, as chosen one, I am supposed to help you find
That is so true. I am so sorry. I will allow you to sleep in my place, and I will sleep on the floor.
No, Melisandre, you misunderstand. The goat has called me so that you can have better accommodations than these. The goat is quite worried.
It's
I didn't-
rewarding your fate.
I would never wish to worry the goat. She looks for a moment, and you can tell she's doing this thing again where she can see for just a moment, like she has seen.
Someone detect magic.
Melody, you notice
Yes.
something in this. You have that feeling again, like you're being hugged from behind.
Not from the cloak.
No, it is what you felt in Winter's grip the first day you met the matriarch. And it does not take long for it to occur to you. The matriarch is helping this girl to see so that she can survive.
Oh.
Gotcha.
And at that, like, Melody's like face softens a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And she like extends one of her clawed fingers over to Melisandre.
She looks at it nervously. Yes, I'm sorry. Yes,
You feel the warmth, don't you?
it is the goat. It holds you in its warmth. Yes.
Mhm.
It keeps
I
you from
can
being
feel it
cold when it
too.
rains.
I can feel it too.
See.
That is, no one else has ever felt it before. They always say they don't.
Well, whenever I feel warm like this, I never get wet in the rain, right? You
Yeah.
never get wet in the rain.
Mm-hmm. She nods as if you've said something like that, like jarred something for her. Uh-huh.
Well, I think I know what the goat wants.
What does the goat want?
It wants you to be safe.
She looks over at it. It takes care of me.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And it led us to you.
She looks over at the goat. Praise be. And bows her head politely.
Praise be. And you know what else? I think I know what to do.
What?
Will you let me take you?
She seems to think for a long, long moment. And then she looks at the goat as if trying to get permission. The goat is sleeping. Does not seem to notice. However, as she looks, you both feel that warmth again, and she takes that for her answer. Okay.
Okay. And do I need to make a roll to what do you call it? To determine if this town has like
Mm.
an orphanage or something like that, like
I'd
some
say-
place that takes in younglings like this.
Yeah. I would say perception check for me.
Okay. Don't fail me.
There is an orphanage in this town. You saw it the first day, not the first day you came, but in that first week that you were here in town when you were beginning to perform, you would see. You found out about it because some of the kids in the streets would talk about it. They do not talk about it in the most glowing of terms,
Okay.
which is, I mean, to be fair, not uncommon for orphanages. However, some of the things you heard would definitely give you cause for concern.
Okay. And that's why I chose to like perform in the myriad markets as opposed to like in the literal orphanage.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Okay.
you sensed it might be much better that the kids might get to go outside and see you there.
Okay. We're gonna take her to the Widow's Revenge.
Okay. What did she get
And-
revenge for?
Hmm?
What did she get revenge for? The widow.
Oh no. This is me out of character.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Because like I'm still trying to determine where would be a good place. Yeah, we're gonna take her to the Widow's Revenge. Okay. Well, first off, we're going to make sure that you're fed, that you get a good shower. We're gonna get you clean, and we're gonna make sure that you get a good night's sleep. With the goat, of course.
She nods. Yes. If that is the will of the goat, then I will.
Praise be.
Praise be.
Praise be.
Every time you say praise be, she like bows her head politely.
And she's just gonna like stand up, still have that finger extended so like she can like hold on to it.
Mhm.
And kind of like look to everyone else and go, we're taking the goat.
All right.
Um,
I will pick up
well,
the goat.
the goat's not
goat-
gonna be happy about that.
The goat gives a startled surprise as the goat is awakened by a Uruk picking it up. It has many ancestors that it feels met their end in just a very similar way. And yet, the goat continues to look around. Although it's blind too, so.
Goat's
know if it's-
blind too.
You don't know. Yeah, the goat's also
Yeah.
blind. It also has the same milky white eyes. That's
Oh,
why
I'm
she
not-
like
I'm
she
not
started worshiping it
checking
because it looked like her.
Okay.
Not checking that one. I'm not a vet.
So you pick up the goat. What do? You have a 10-year-old dirty little girl and a unknown age dirty goat with you.
Where are we?
We're gonna take them to
You
the
are-
Widow's
Take
Revenge.
them
Yeah.
back and get them set up.
All right, I'm going to show
Yes.
you on the map where you all are right now. You're right there.
Okay. Yep, we're gonna
So-
cross the bridge and we're gonna go to the
got-
Widow's
We got
Revenge.
legs. We can handle this.
So indeed, as you start crossing the bridge, those guards are there. However, seeing that you're
Flat.
all
Flat
Kind of-
stare. Dare you to do
Yeah.
anything?
well, there is that, and also you are going out of the bronze lane. And as they eye the goat and the girl, they seem quite pleased that you are going out of the bronze lane. So they're like, they don't say anything. They just let you walk past.
Anyone
make your
can
way
leave,
towards
and I'll
the-
get 'em.
The Widow's Revenge. As you enter, need to get their name again because I've forgotten it since we were here. I remember Karina, but I do not remember the name of the bartender here. What was her name?
I will be setting the goat up in the
Shara.
real stables.
Yes. So you go over, and there is indeed a stable next to the Widow's Revenge. It's a pretty sizable stable, as there are many rooms. There may at some point be many horses. There are mostly horses in this stable. I should really stress. In fact, every stall that is filled with a horse. However, the stable boy who is there glances over and is like, hello. Can I help you?
Room for
Raja
one
is her
more.
name.
What's her name? I'm sorry?
Raja.
Raj-
Raja. She's
Raja?
an Uruk.
The name of the
Shara is the Uruk. Shara Soulborn is the name of the.
Wait, shit. Then
It's Shara Soulborn is the name of the Uruk here. But we're not inside yet, so that's fine. But this stable boy is like, yes.
Room for one more. Holy
Yeah.
goat.
His first glance goes over to Cerberus, as if maybe a conversation was had at some point.
Yeah.
Depends.
And missing an opportunity.
Certainly. The goat. Yeah. Do goats eat the same thing as horses?
Hey.
I got hay. Okay, I can do that. Yeah. Sure.
hello.
5 copper to stable the horse or stable the goat.
Hand over. And
Takes it. He then leads the goat into one of the stables and closes the pen there. The goat sees a lot of hay and a lot of food. Or sorry, the goat smells a lot of hay and a lot of food, feels it under feet, and walks around and immediately plops down and goes right back to sleep. Goat does not seem displeased. The goat seems quite content. All of you vaguely wonder how there was just a random goat walking around the city at some point that she found. But she goes over to the edge of the pen and gets down and once again gets on her knees and then leans all the way forward to bow low before the goat and wish it a good evening. And the stable boy is just like,
I'll lean over and just whisper, just let it happen.
He smiles. I'm going to go tend the horses. And after that, you were able to get Melisandre to follow you inside. As you go inside, Shara looks up. Shara Soulborn, the flesh skin Uruk, and owner and proprietor of the bar. She sees you walking in with a young girl. I just going to put it out there. We do not consent to being used for kidnapping in here. Just
Oh, not kidnapping. We found this girl with a goat.
Legitimately found. We did not steal this child.
She's alone. We were hoping to help her. She doesn't have any parents.
oh, okay.
This is very important.
Sure. Okay. Well, you're welcome to take a seat wherever you like.
Okay. We're just gonna head on over to a really to like a booth.
You'll settle down with Melisandre there. She is relatively quiet as she just kind of listens. You notice that she's not looking around very much right now, as if she can't see.
Perhaps we should order a food for her.
And there's like a menu thing here, right?
Yeah, I mean the first bar wench that comes over would tell you what they have that evening. She's like,
Okay.
we have this evening we've got what's her name too? Ika? No, that was not that person. It was that's Ashana. What is her name?
I remember, but I remember she was flirty.
Yeah, she was very flirty, I know. That's like one of the only 2 character traits I know of to have.
There, honey. There.
Mm-hmm.
Control F flirty.
It's just completely gone. Oh, Arissa, that was her name.
Arissa.
Arissa. So Arissa returns, and she gives a particular smile to Caldana and Brux, whom she remembers from last time. And she nods and then looks down at the young girl and goes, "Oh, well, someone was busy. Welcome back to the Widow's Revenge, everybody. What can I get for you all
No-
tonight? We have,
None of us are humans. This doesn't make any sense.
I mean, well, actually, that doesn't need to be, actually, because, well, sorry, you are all women, so it actually would, because in the case of a half-breed, it takes after the mother, so.
What?
Yes.
Mhm.
Many of the races of Syrian can interbreed. However, getting a true half-breed is very rare, or at least someone who appears a half-breed. Raj Sulborn was a half-breed,
Yeah.
but that can
that
only
was-
happen if you have 2 generations of half-breeding in both directions. So first you need to have, say, a human and an elf would lay together, produce a human child, and then lay with an elf again would get you a half-breed. But yes, Arissa knows. We have a good stew this evening made with pork. And we also have a soup bread bowl this evening.
What kind of soup?
Let's see. I think she said there's a chicken based soup and a bean soup as well.
Okay. And I'm gonna turn to Melisandre and go, which one of those do you like?
She looks up. She clearly is struggling because she doesn't know what any of these things taste like. Not well enough. She's never been able to afford meat. That's for certain.
Seeing that, I'll just override and say stew all around.
Stew's all around then. Anything to drink?
I'll be drinking probably later, so not right now. I'll be coming back later on tonight.
Very well.
Water and juice.
Water and juice. Okay. She looks to Caldana and you.
I'm trying to remember what the options were last time.
Whatever the brown was.
Yep. Let's look. Let me grab them again. There is the hard silver wheat, the Kartok ale, the God's Grasp brown, or
There.
the Scala red that she doesn't ever mention.
Kartok Ale.
Kartok ale.
Do
Nods.
the brown again.
All right. She takes those down and nods her head politely, and then strolls off to go drop the order off. Melisandre continues to just sit quietly, as if she's never been around people this much, so she doesn't really know what to do with it.
And seeing this, Melody's gonna pull out her lute and just kind of like um strum on it. No real direction, but just kind of like have a tune um just playing.
She listens, seems to very much enjoy it, and it's probably about 3 or 4 minutes into your playing when you feel her tap on your shoulder.
Hmm?
She holds her hands out. May I?
Yeah. And she hands it over.
She takes the lute, and you can see her feeling it, running her hand over it and trying to like get an idea in her mind of what it must look like. She feels around, and then you hear her pluck a string, and she tries to pluck another string, and then tries to do what she presumes you were doing, which was playing a lovely tune. It does not come out so lovely when she tries to play.
And when she's doing this, I'm going to just kind of like help her adjust her fingers on the bar and the strings.
And indeed, so as you kind of hold your hands over hers and guide her fingers along, the lovely notes start to come out of a very simple song, and you see a big smile come across her face at that.
It
As
feels nice, right?
she nods excitedly as she is able to suddenly make music. And as this is happening, Carmen comes downstairs and walks over to the table.
Dead
And-
name. Dead
I
name.
don't. She's not.
Not yet, not
She's
till
not
morning.
going by-
She doesn't go by Cassandra in public yet.
Yeah.
That is literally her undercover name.
It also may not. She may go back to Carmen later. We don't know.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
Carmen walks over and looks down at the child and is like, I understand you're eager to replace me, but I think you can do better.
Oh no. This is. I was about to make a really mean joke that was not in character. Never mind.
I got sent. I got sent to her.
You got sent to her.
Mm-hmm. Right,
Where were-
Fofos? And she's gonna like turn over to the bear.
Oh, she feels that Evelyn led her this.
Yes, the bear is watching this girl very intently. Carmen nods slowly and then sniffs the air. And where exactly were you sent to find this girl? Because you could use a bath.
Oh, we know. We're gonna take her and like bathe her too.
See. What's your name? Girl looks up. Melisandre. Carmen nods. I see. Very well then. She looks to you, Melody. And what is the plan after that?
I didn't think that far ahead yet.
Shocking.
Well, we want to at least get her out of that situation first. We are not very familiar with the city about where her best bet to go is.
Yes. She is. I would not say she is better off on the streets than in the orphanage, but, well, it might be close.
I didn't really get any good vibes from that place.
No. No, I would not think so. He looks at the girl. Can you write or read? And the girl looks up and shakes her head. Can you clean? The girl thinks for a moment, nods.
She's been taking care of a goat. Not
Carmen
just
looks at
a
you.
goat, the goat. Praise be.
She's
Praise be.
very attached to the goat.
I see. Well, my house is in the Copper Lane. It's nothing nice. It's enough. There's a girl who lives there now. Her name is Ella. She, well, I wouldn't say I adopted her, but I let her live there when she was 10.
You're a mom?
No, I'm not a mom, but
Oh.
watched over her for a few years and then let her have the house or the run of the house. You can take her there. Tell Ella I said to watch over this girl. She'll do it.
Okay. Well,
Better suggestion than I was gonna have.
Unless you wish to take her to Moon Bay with you.
I don't feel that would be a wise idea.
She looks
it's
over.
kind of far.
Looks over. What's a Moon Bay?
It's a very, very far away place.
Mm-hmm. Can the goat go?
Well, I think it might be a little bit far for you and the goat, but we have perhaps another place.
Can the goat go?
Gonna look to
And we
Melody.
look at Carmen.
He's a very
Uh,
mild-mannered goat for what it's
Alana's
worth.
just gonna shrug. I was gonna suggesting if the Haven would take her in. Long shot, but
Who?
the
a
Haven.
haven.
Oh, Lucky's Haven. Would they take humans? Non-tieflings, I should say.
Caldana, you didn't see any non-tieflings living there. You're not certain, but you didn't see any. Then again, they think you're pretty cool.
Caldana's going on the logic of, well, the humans don't seem to want her, so maybe.
Maybe. But
Sure,
Carmen
this-
nods. I don't care if she brings a goat, I suppose, as long as she cleans up after it.
It seems like she had been, so.
Okay. Then
She's been taking really good care of the goat.
very
Praise be.
well. The girl goes, praise be. Paws her head again. Carmen nods. Very well. Take her there tonight, Ella should be there this evening. She works in the mornings. She's a nice enough girl. I'm sure she'll watch over her.
Very well. Is that is that to your satisfaction, Melody? That's your
I
mission
think
after
so.
all.
I think so, but it's very important to ask Melisandre. Would you be okay if you lived with Carmen and Ella? In the goat?
Melisandre, it's like, she looks between them all, or between to Melody and Carmen and Rialta, and I was like, okay. Can I, will you teach me to read or write? Carmen looks at her and sees that she's blind and is like, I could stop by pages and see if there's a book for those who cannot see. I don't know that there is, but I'll see if it can be done. I am certain Ella would be willing. She is very kind. She's like, "Are you gonna live there?" And Carmen is like, when I'm in town, I suppose I probably will. It is my house, so probably." She nods. Okay. About that time, your food and drinks are brought. You have never witnessed a girl wolf through a bowl of food like this.
She's gonna get a stomachache.
She takes one bite and it's as if she's seen the light. You're like, oh my gosh. Yeah, that's what happens, and she starts just tearing through this bowl of food. You all have a rather pleasant meal as you help this young girl, and afterwards, you are able to barter with Shara to go and use the baths upstairs. She sees the state of the girl and charges an extra silver for it. But
I'm gonna toss a gold.
she sends someone up to help then. Melody and I would say anyone who wore the blanket
Yeah.
goes up to indeed also take a bath
Yeah.
and get cleaned up because you smell gross.
Yeah.
Brooks and Cerberus, you can stay down. That's you're fine.
It's okay.
You smell like adventurer.
Adventure musk is acceptable.
No.
Though Musk is not.
But yeah, you're able to get this.
It is. It is eau de pas adventurer.
You are able to get this young girl cleaned up, and indeed, under a pound of dirt, and having lived by herself for a while. And to be clear, she did an okay job of taking care of herself, but she's 10.
She also
or
knows
11.
magic, so or Evelyn gave her magic, I guess.
She,
Yeah.
as far as you can tell, she hasn't done any magic.
Okay.
Listen. That's a miracle. Just a 10-year-old girl, anyways. But you add on she's blind.
Yep.
That's
And taking care of a goat.
Yep,
That-
the ma-
Crazy.
The matriarch
11,
has-
remember?
a
has looked out
goat.
after her. But you're able to get this girl cleaned up, and actually, she's she's still half starved, so doesn't look perfect, but she's a relatively pretty little girl. I mean, she's cute. They're like you wouldn't think like she'd be that hard to like have someone adopt her, although her being blind probably is a complication in this era.
I'm gonna braid her hair.
Her hair requires a very thorough washing before you do so. However, you are able to braid her hair. After about an hour, you all get out and dry off and get into your clothes. She doesn't have much outside of rags, but Shara comes up with some. They're not nice clothes, but they're clean at least, and they relatively fit her. Yeah.
Before we go, we're going to take you to the market and we're going to get you new clothes.
She nods. At this point, it's quite late. You would have to probably do so in the morning, but yeah, before you leave town, you can do that.
I have an engagement to take care of.
You do.
You all going to be all right?
Mm-hmm. Oh shoot! The stuff from
We did just leave the order sitting there.
Jackson.
Well, the markets are closed right now.
Latte!
Well, the latte's probably lost. Hopefully the market, they were able to do something about that. Because yes, the market is closed.
Yes, it is.
I'm gonna get a latte tomorrow.
Okay. I'm sure they'll understand and he'll reimburse you or something to that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get it sorted out.
All right. So, who's doing what here? It's getting relatively late. I presume Melody is going to be taking this young girl to Carmen's home, and Carmen will escort you as well.
Unless like Melisandre is like super fucking sleepy.
No, I mean Melisandre is as she usually is. She looks right now. She is just kind of enjoying being in clean clothes.
Then yeah, we're gonna take her to
Right.
Carmen's home.
All right, so you're doing that. Brooks, what are you up to?
Would like how late is it that say would pages be open, or would I have done? I mean, honestly, I would have done that while they were bathing.
You could probably, you while they're bathing, you could go to Pages. Caldana, what are you going to be up to this night?
If she's got nothing else, we can arrange that I waited.
Yeah, I don't have much.
I mean, you can also go to bed too if you prefer.
I'll wait on that.
All right. And Rialta, you are going to be meeting with the Inquisitor.
Yep.
So, okay. So let's start with Rialta. Brooks and Caldana, you leave for Pages and start making your way up the main road until you reach the crossways and then make a left to head towards Pages. While that is happening. Rialta, you watch as Carmen and Melody escort Melisandre out and presumably off towards the Copper Lane. And it's 5 minutes later or so when Inquisitor Sunvale enters into the tavern and he looks around for a moment.
I'll wave him down.
Spotting you, he nods and walks over and has a seat.
This is a excellent opportunity because I have questions for you. You just see this big journal.
Nods. Given the nature of what I'm certain you were to ask, perhaps we would do better to take a room instead where there are no prying ears.
Oh, yes, of course.
He nods. He will signal to Shara and ask for a room key, and then also ask for a bowl of stew, as he has not eaten, to take up with him. I hope you don't mind that I eat while we talk.
No, not at all. I had eaten previously, given our adventures out here earlier today, and it is important to eat.
Yes. So he takes a bowl of stew up with him, and you all go up to a room. Looks like most of the others on that floor do, but there's a table at it, so he sits down and invites you to sit across from him as he takes a bite of food and seems quite pleased by it, by what he tastes. It's quite good.
Does and puts the journal back on it.
Well, then I will allow you to begin.
Oh, well, I just was nothing specific. I just find I've never met an Inquisitor face to face before, so I find it all of a fascinating thing. And some of these are more of perhaps theories I have of, and she kind of looks up at him. Do you have more specific questions for me? This might take some time.
Indeed. Yes. I meant to ask. You are from Heaven's Reach Observatory, yes?
Yes, I am.
What brings you down off the mountain?
Well, it's a bit strange actually.
Try me.
Well, we all have these tattoos, as you know,
Yes.
and well, each of us were, I would say, called to meet all together by certain prophets, goddesses, and so that's one of the reasons why I'm here to somewhat kismet to meet the group here.
Which goddesses and gods?
For me, it was Serena.
Serena? Or yeah, Selene.
Selena, sorry.
Selene.
Selena.
And the others? Or do you not know?
I believe, let's see, Brooks has Talia.
Goddess of Fate.
The Melody has Evelyn. We just talked about that.
I'm sorry, Evelyn?
The Matriarch.
Oh,
My apologies,
tiefling goddess,
I'm
very
using
rare.
the wrong name, sorry.
No, it's fine.
The Matriarch. Let's see. Caldana has the Red Lady. That's the Phoenix one. And then, what is Cerberus'? Oh, of course, Flora and Fauna.
I see. He starts to, you see him thinking for a moment before shaking his head. Nothing in common among any of those gods. Not from around the same eras. Not really any link in what they are overseers of. Interesting that those five should choose you.
Mm-hmm.
Though you notice he does not question for a moment that is the case.
Has such a thing happened before?
Not to my knowledge.
Let's see.
Though that does not mean that it has not happened before. I do not know everything, as I am frequently reminded.
Me too.
Well, I ask because you're not the first mountain dwarf that I've met in recent times, and you look much like the one that I met recently.
Her face hardens.
He
At
seems to
that.
take note of that. Indeed.
And could you describe this individual more to me?
He was also a mountain dwarf from Heaven's Reach Observatory. He looked similar to you. Not quite, but I would believe a family resemblance, particularly since you share a last name. Do you know who I speak of?
He gave you his name.
Oh, most certainly he did.
Faulkner,
Saren Faulkner was his name.
She closes her eyes and inhales deeply. My twin is who you speak of.
Yes, I thought as much.
And tell me, what was my twin up to in Mina's Reach?
He was not in Mina's Reach. I met him in Stone's Throw about a month ago. Well, 2 months ago, in fact.
2 months.
I met him as he was being inducted as an Inquisitor. He showed a unique talent for it.
Her eyes bug out of her head. Inducted to be an Inquisitor, you say?
And the Grand Inquisitor himself selected the Saren.
I see. What sorts of feats did my brother accomplish?
He seemed, well, he possessed a great knowledge of demons, of the fiendish. Things that, by and large, I would have expected to be impossible to know. However, he claims that he read about them in the stars. I was skeptical myself. However, I do understand that your kind are capable of reading the stars for many things.
Oh, this is not good.
Why is it not good?
I have not discussed this matter with my group, but I also came down this mountain because I was looking for my brother. He was not himself when he left.
I see.
He searches for something that he believes will help him, and I worry what exactly he's going to get himself into.
Such is often the nature of Inquisitors. To search and find something that is trouble.
I suppose I can't say what he's been doing these past couple months, but I have concerns over how he has become so knowledgeable.
As do I. You're not alone in that. However, the Grand Inquisitor seems convinced, which, no, that is his prerogative to make those decisions. Last I heard, although that was admittedly some time ago, he had volunteered for a job in Savior's Cradle. It's far to the north. Few people want to take that particular route. However, he seemed quite enthusiastic for it.
Savior's Cradle. What do I know about that place?
It is the furthest north city on the continent, all the way at the end of the Northern Divide. It is supposedly where the hero, Laki, before she was a goddess, set out from. Hence the name Savior's Cradle.
Is it like a high mountain area?
No, it's actually at the base of a mountain. It is
Okay.
at the very end of the Soren mountain range where it meets the Northern Ocean. That is where Savior's Cradle is located. Actually, I'll take you over to the
Yeah.
world map and show you right where it is. That is Savior's Cradle.
Okay. Yeah, she is. Her brow is most furrowed.
We'd received reports of fiends, not of fiends, but of a cult in the area that was supposedly practicing blood magic. However, nothing confirmed at the time. Still, it was enough that we would send people that far north, especially because it takes so long to get there. If we wait until we get confirmed reports of fiends on the ground, we may be overrun by the time we actually arrive.
There's no way to get there in time. Doing.
Get there in time for what? Precisely?
She seems to be thinking as if hesitating. Please give me a moment because I want to make sure I say this correctly.
Uh-huh.
You know that our kind deal much with reading the stars and prophecies.
I do.
And, well, the, my brother's not well. He was not well when I last saw him. And
I see.
he, a great tragedy had befallen him. And, we have both shared tragedies in the past, but, I suppose this was not one I could be there for him with. His wife passed away.
My condolences.
She actually pauses at that and stiffens for a moment before nodding. Thank you. She was a lovely lady.
I would assume so for your sister-in-law.
She stiffens again and nods. Yes, quite. He, as a result, I think he was. Sometimes when you read the stars, it is not an exact science. And
He seems to have a look on his face of, you don't say.
and as a result, it is far too easy to find what you're looking for. And he believed that he found a sort of prophecy about when the twins clash at Red Rock's crest, then shall the moon rise in the west.
The moon does not rise in the west, it rises in the east.
Indeed. He believes this could turn back time. I believe it is a poor portent indeed. If that reading is even correct.
Inquisitor Sunvale looks at you very hard for a long moment. He believes that he will be able to turn back time to recover the one that he lost.
Much that he lost, yes. He, at least that's what the notes that I found when he left were to say.
I don't suppose you brought these notes with you.
She, nods and shuffles through some journals. It's a very raggedy, messy journal out. And, goes to the page where his findings were.
Inquisitor looks them over. He nods. Let's see. Seems to have made a mental note of it. Well, that is... I appreciate your insight into it. I sought to ask you because, well, I had my own suspicions. Anytime someone turns up with knowledge of demons, it of course invites the question, how do you know such a thing? I had to confiscate a number of books earlier today, dealing with just such an issue. But, very well. I will make a report and see if he can be tracked down. I do not know. Between when he left and this all began, I had to leave. I don't know if he has yet reported in from Savior's Cradle.
To add, there is something I know that Saren does not.
Which is what?
When Selena came to speak to me, as did the goddesses to the others, she showed me another part of the prophecy that he missed.
Which is?
If thou wouldst avert suffering and violence, seekest thou the whispers and silence.
He is silent for a long moment as he thinks about that. Does it mean anything to you as a reader of the stars?
She shakes her head. As with all readings, they are vague until such a time comes when they are obvious. I only feel that it must be that I am called to help prevent such tragedy, but I know not what whispers and silence could mean. A metaphor of some kind.
I do not know either. I would have you take this prophecy to Onredo Suki and recite it to her. See if she has any insight as to what it means that may aid you.
Thank you.
Indeed. And then he suddenly stops and glances down. Reaching into his pack, you see him pull out what looks like a sending stone, although it has a very beautifully intricate glyph on it as he pulls it out. And he kind of grimaces a little bit. Ms. Faulkner, I need you to remain entirely silent for a few moments, please.
She nods and says no word.
Indeed. He sets it on the table, and a moment later, a voice echoes into the room. It is a deep and firm voice as it speaks. Inquisitor Sunvale, please give a report. And he nods. Inquisitor Sunvale reporting in. We have arrived in Mina's Grove, and I am pleased to say that the situation has been mostly, at this point, dealt with. The cultists have been eliminated, and the fiends within the mine have also been destroyed. The mine itself has been imploded, and the citizens of Mina's Grove are beginning plans to relocate to a new mining location. We see no reason to believe that the fiendish presence will follow. And the voice comes through again and says, I do not want to hear that everything is well and that you have fixed everything. And he looks a little bit taken aback and goes, I'm sorry, sir? He goes, Aldrich Blackstone was found dead this very evening. And worse still, as one of your guards gave the guards here a heads up as to what was coming, they saw the devil dog that killed him and reported it. And Sunvale winces noticeably. I see, sir. Indeed, the final devil dog, we understand, was summoned just before the death of the lead cultist by the name of Kuldan. And the voice on the other side does not sound pleased. I do not care. What I need is you to understand that this cannot happen. 3 human counselors of Stone's Throw are dead. There have not been 3 casualties in the last 60 years, much less counselors of Stone's Throw. And he nods. Yes, sir. I am quite aware of what is at stake here. Do you understand that we are currently being considered for dereliction of duty charges? They believe that we are no longer doing what is asked of us. Indeed. Sir, I understand your frustration. The source of the tieflings who did this come from Lockheed's Haven here in Mina's Grove. They are currently under quarantine while we ensure that the man interrupts him blatantly at that point. I wonder if perhaps, were they elven counselors being slain, you might take this a little more seriously. And a long look comes across Martine Sunvale's face, to which he says, if you mean to imply that my being an elf is in some way impacting my diligence on this case, I will remind you of my track record. And he is interrupted once again by saying, what I am implying, Sunvale, is that I believe my horse could do a better job leading this investigation than you are. You have 24 hours to ensure that this will not happen again. Out. And the stone goes quiet. He looks very embarrassed as he reaches out and takes the stone and puts it back in his pack.
Who?
It would seem that I probably should have taken that in private. My apologies, Miss Faulkner.
No, my apologies for that. Who was that?
The Grand Inquisitor, my boss.
The Grand Inquisitor.
Indeed. He is the head of Lockheed's Inquisition, is based in Stone's Throw, and I have no doubt has been being chewed out by every member of the council for the last few weeks, every day. So he is most frustrated with our lack of progress.
So even with warning, they were still unable to save Aldrich Blackstone.
It would appear our warning did not come fast enough, unfortunately. Well, that is none of your concern. You have done all that has been asked of you and more. It is up to me to deal with this. Don't think I will be sleeping this evening. I must make for the Haven immediately and put an end to this investigation one way or another. He stands up. I do appreciate your time, Miss Faulkner. I thank you for your concerns about your brother. I will make sure to investigate them upon my return to Stone's Throw.
Yes, I appreciate as well. What are you to do with Lockheed's Haven?
I will be conducting the investigation and questioning of the tieflings myself, and it is my sincerest hope that by dawn I will be able to lift the quarantine and be able to assure the Grand Inquisitor that this is behind us.
If there are more dogs to be made, they were from tunnels that could be anywhere in the continent. There may be nothing more to do with Lockheed's Haven at this point.
He gives a very grim look at that and nods. I'm aware. Purple worms have not been seen in, well, not since the sacking of Moon Bay. That was many hundreds of years ago. It is an ill portent indeed. I do hope you get better news in the stars the next time you gaze upon them, Miss Faulkner.
Perhaps I will. If I may trouble you for a strange question.
Please.
You and I share one thing in common. We are bereft of a father. Mine did not save me, but he was an adventurer. Certainly, some would have told tales of him at some point, but he is no longer here. If you could have found a way to turn back time to bring him back, would you?
No, Miss Faulkner. I miss my father. I missed him very much when I was younger. But my father died saving me and many people from Superia, the dread demon of arrogance. And because of that, 5 years later, I was able to become a member of the Inquisition, which, while I understand, is not always considered a very glamorous or well-loved position, I take it very seriously. I know that I will never be a hero to the people of this continent, but I will rest well knowing that I have done all I can to protect them. And my father sleeps forever now, and he sleeps well knowing that he did the same.
Thank you.
Have a lovely night, Miss Faulkner.
And may yours pass quickly.
Unlikely, but we can hope. And he steps out as he makes his way towards the Haven. We'll jump over to Brux and to Caldana, who have made your way up to Pages. It is not closed yet, but you can tell they're definitely finishing up for the night.
I need a book, but I'm not there.
Within, Nybris is...
Yeah, I remember.
Within, as you enter, Nybris looks up. Welcome to Pages. Would you like to pre-order? Oh, hey. Very good to see you again. As you enter, you hear. You don't hear the machine being pressed in the back like you did last time you were here, However, you can hear a sniffling coming from in the back.
Would it be one that maybe sounds familiar?
I mean, you've never heard Callie sniffle, but I mean, it could be her. It's
Is
light
it the
enough.
right intonations?
Yeah, it's definitely the right intonation.
Yeah, just sort of gesture. Your boss made it back safely then?
Nybris has a 1,000-yard stare on his face. Yes. Thank Talia, the return of our noble leader. She has returned safe and sound to... He glances back at the partially ajar door where the sniffling can be heard. She is even now planning the future successes of Pages, I am certain.
Good. We found her in, shall we say, a predicament.
I would be surprised should you find her anywhere else. Last time they brought her back, she had her head shaved.
I don't think that was going to happen this time.
Well, like I always say when dealing with Callie, if she seems like she's in trouble, wait 5 minutes. He nods. I believe I do owe you a reward. I do apologize. He goes over to the desk, the front counter, and reaches down underneath it, pulls out a leather sack, and tosses it to you.
Pass it over to Caldana.
Mhm.
And it was the first version, right? Volume?
Oh, for Rialta, right? For your dwarven friend. Right. Volume 1. He goes over. Doesn't see one on the shelf, and he just sighs. Ms. Page. You hear the sniffling abruptly stop, and a moment later, Callie walks out, looking like she has been crying a lot. She walks out. Yes, I'm fine. Yes, what can I do for you, Nybris? They need a copy of the Guide to Gods and Goddesses, Volume 1. You know, what's the point? What's it matter? They ransacked my shop. They took everything. You look around. You don't notice anything in particular missing. Nybris is like, they took 4 books. 4 books, I remind you, that were illegal for you to have, and you could have been arrested for. They even compensated you for them.
Oh my gosh, no.
She is like, those were my personal books. They were not for sale. And even if they were for sale, they would not be for sale for the pittance that they paid for them. Nybris does not look impressed. You had 4 books on demons in here, and the Inquisition is in town. And while I do not care if you end up in jail, I would like to have a job next week. And Callie looks down. Yeah. Right. Gods and Goddesses, Volume 1. She goes back into the room. Nybris glances over apologetically. Sorry. Some
Brooks was
frustrations
just
bubbled over.
Watching the whole exchange, practicing her levitating eyebrows trick.
Yeah. They went into and all the stuff that she'd written about dread demons for her 3rd book, they burned.
That does seem like the Inquisition.
Yes, indeed. That said, she was well aware that she was not supposed to have them, and well aware that the Inquisition was here. Anyway, sorry. A moment later, she comes back out and just hands over a book meekly, and then disappears back into the back room again. He takes the book and hands it to you. Did she pay for it already?
I do not know, but
Whatever, it's free
I
of
will
charge if she
cover-
didn't.
I will cover it regardless and
No.
sit with her if I need to.
It's free. Take it. I
And-
don't.
and they're already on the counter.
What?
The coinage is already on the counter.
Oh,
at
okay.
this point.
Fair enough. Well, you can take this. Caldana, in the pouch that you were given, it has 100 gold pieces as a reward for finding Callie and bringing her back safely.
Alright. We
And
just
how
want to
much
put that in the
was-
party loot then?
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah. How much was the book?
That book would be 8 gold pieces.
Cool.
100 to the party.
I'm adding it now.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. Perfect.
Nybris nods. Well, if nothing else, it's at least we have her back for a little while. We can get caught up on our orders, which we're desperately behind on at this point, especially because she's supposed to sign all the books that were pre-ordered, which is excellent. I can't wait to get caught up on that. And no sooner does he have those words out of his mouth than does Callie reemerge from the back room, not wearing the same clothes as she was wearing before. Before she had on just like a plain dress. Now she has on something that looks like breeches made of leather or hide, I should say, and a full button-down shirt with a piece of armor across the middle. It's adventuring gear as she comes out. And she has the biggest smile on her face as she walks out. She looks extremely excited. She's like, Nybris, one of the letters I just got. Oh, it's from Raktala. Raktala, Nybris. They have a new deity up there. It's a local one, but still, this will be incredible for book 3. You got the shop. I'll catch you later. I'll be back. And she marches out the door, and Nybris just like holds a hand up, like, no, okay.
Thank goodness I got her signature before.
And she's just like, and Nybris is just like, you can't find Raktala. It moves. She has no idea where it is.
You ever considered getting a stamp for her signature?
Or a different line of work.
Every day of my life. Every single one. As he just has this 1,000-yard stare on his face.
Well,
He looks like he has just seen a war.
good luck with that. Leave.
Thank you for coming to Pages.
Hold on, as Brooks goes out the door, just legitimately, that's rough, buddy.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You may see Callie again later in this campaign.
Oh, you don't say.
Yeah.
Oh,
It
good.
is definitely a possibility.
God,
We're
I
gonna
know
see the DM self-insert.
I told you you'd meet her at some point.
I fucking wrote Raktala has new gear instead of God. God damn it.
So yeah, you two exit Pages.
Actually, yeah, I need to make that note as well because that's an interesting one.
Also that it moves.
Yeah.
Raktala does move, although Brux does know that.
I
Yeah.
knew that one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Tent
No,
City, basically.
most people, no one else would know that. I don't think at this party, but Brux, yeah, of course, you're well aware that Raktala is a tent city that moves.
Yeah, no, that having a new god, that's kind of a big deal. I'm sure that won't come up for us later.
Ah.
No.
No.
So yeah, while that's going on, Melody, you and Carmen have been walking Melisandre back towards the Copper Lane. The guards there do stop you on going the other way, but Carmen shows a ID. It does not take a perception roll for you to know that that is fake. However, they seem convinced enough by it. The name on it is Ivy Smith's daughter. And she keeps... they keep walking. You descend down the Copper Lane. Here, the streets are lit by lanterns that are hung along the roadway. The houses are modest at best. They are not what you would call nice houses, but they're also not like the houses of the Haven, and they're not like the houses in the south west corner of the city either, which are decrepit. These are kept up. These are decent homes. And on the last one, at the very end back corner, Carmen stops and heads up, and you see her knock 3 times at the door, once near the top, and then twice in the middle. And at that point, you hear a number of chains and deadbolts being moved before the door creaks open a bit, and one green eye peers out of the darkness at you for nodding. She looks down towards Melisandre and to the large dragonborn, and Carmen nods. It's all right, Ella. They're with me. And the door opens at that point. Within, in the door frame, you can see a girl. She is a Uruk woman, probably about any other race. I would say you have a hard time telling, but the Dragonborn are well versed in Uruk physiology. You can tell this girl is probably 16-ish. But she is standing there. She has her hair, it's stark white and is done up in a high ponytail. And she glances over and nods. You notice immediately, Melody, she does not have any tattoos on her like Brux does. But she nods and looks at everyone. Hello. Nice to meet you. Carmen nods and motions to the young girl. This is Melisandre, and this is my friend Melody.
Wait, shit, where's the goat?
The goat is also there. She just doesn't introduce the goat
Okay.
because she's not a crazy person.
Indeed.
However,
this is the
Melisandre,
goat.
Melisandre immediately is like, and the goat, praise be.
Praise be.
Oh God.
Ella is like, uh-huh. Carmen just, yeah. You all shift inside. Inside the house is also, it's modest. It's not overt or overtly expensive or lavish or anything like that, but it is comfortable. It has a couch and a dining table, and there's a kitchen in it. There is even a door that attaches out the back and goes to an outside privy, which is quite nice. There is, there are, you can see there's stairs that lead up to where there are 3 doors, and you presume bedrooms. But nothing in here looks particularly expensive. She certainly didn't. For a woman who committed 40 burglaries and 53 larcenies, you would think it would have some more money in it, but doesn't seem to. But she nods. Well, Melisandre, this is my home. She looks to Ella. Ella, this is, as I said, Melisandre. She's going to be staying here for a while. And you see Ella get a big grin on her face and cross her arms. You are the biggest bleeding heart I have ever known. And Carmen gives her a long look and is just like, fortunately for you. And at that, Ella's like, fair enough. But she kneels down. You, she notices her eyes. If you'd like, I could show you around. She offers her hand. Melisandre glances in the direction of you, Melody.
You can go. You'll be safe here.
She nods and takes the Uruk's hand. The Uruk starts to show her around, letting her feel everything and letting her start making a mental map of the layout of the house and what to watch out for. But she does. And Carmen nods as she watches for a moment before looking to Melody. Ella was she was a good kid when I took her in. And, well, more of a little sister, really, than a daughter, but she's kind-hearted.
She's family.
She is family. That is true. And I guess the family is now 3.
And Melody like pulls her into a big hug.
Carmen stiffens again for a moment before hugging back. And she can't help but think to her mind, boy, this has been a weird 2 weeks. But she nods. Well, I think I'll stay here for the evening, as charming as the Widow's Revenge is. I'll stay here and make sure the girl gets to sleep okay. Make sure Ella knows what's expected of her. That's all right with you.
Of course. Oh, we'll come and visit before we leave as well. But
Good.
I'm gonna make a point whenever I come in here, back into the city to drop by for a visit and check up on you and her. But while you're going off into your secret mission.
Yes, I have to leave in the morning. However, I can at least make sure that Ella knows what to do and make sure everything's okay. I'll show you've seen the knock. You know how to get Ella to open the door. So
Secret knock.
secret knock. She confirms. The girl's welcome to whatever is here. I don't keep a ton in the house, but there's food and clothes, so whatever she needs, she can have. She offers her hand to shake yours, Melody.
And Melody just kind of like puts her arms out, like in like expecting
Yeah.
Carmen to hug.
Carmen does reach out and hug you. Then she
Yay!
bids you good evening and sees you out. And you are alone in the street for a moment. Well, as alone as you can ever be, for someone who's always watching over you.
I also always have Fluffles.
You do indeed. And as you start making your way back, you again approach the Copper Bridge to take you back into the main part of the city. And here, something is different, you notice. The large bridge, it's a good, 2 minutes to walk across it. It's a sizable bridge, taking you across a rather large river. And before, there were a number of guards on it. There were checkpoints all along as you would go. However, none of them are there anymore. All the guards have gone.
I look around. Is there anyone else? Like,
At first, no. It's getting late, and there is a fog that has set in. Not a heavy one, but your vision's a little obscured. It's not perfect. But leaning across the railing and looking out towards the moon in the distance, you see a tiefling. Well, sort of a tiefling. She was once a tiefling. Her tail flicks back and forth as she looks up towards the moon. She glances over at you and smiles warmly. Child.
matriarch. And she like bounds over to her.
It is nice to see you again, Melody. You who have come so far. Such a long trip from Winter's Grip to here, and longer still since, I understand. Mina's Reach, New Alcana, back to here. So much danger have you faced? There's a almost sad look on her face, as if it pains her to know how much danger you've been in.
I'm okay.
She
Fluffles get
smiles.
me.
Indeed. She reaches up and touches your cheek. It's very warm. She does. Indeed. You are strong and brave, just as I knew you would be. That's why I chose you. That girl has known suffering. It has damaged her mind. She wasn't born blind. She was 5 when she was blinded. An accident. Noxious chemical in the eyes. Her parents would not be trifled to have to raise a blind daughter. They abandoned her.
That's not nice.
She shakes her head. No, it is not. And her eyes change to a deeper shade of red. And you can feel the anger emanate off of her. The white wing, the angel wing that spreads out from behind her back, almost dims, and a fiery essence comes off of the bat wing that comes out of her other shoulder blade. And then she points down off the edge of the bridge for you to see.
I look over to where she's pointing.
You don't see anything, nothing of note anyway. It's a river. It's the Undal River, which flows from the Kartok Mountains north up towards Lake Undal, and eventually ends there. It seems to just be passing as normal, and she glances over. The final resting place of her parents.
Oh,
Mm.
what
It is-
happened?
She looks at her. It is my nature as the protector of orphans and abandoned children to care for those who need it and to punish those who abuse. They were monsters. They would let their little girl freeze to death in the cold, blind, scared. They got what was coming to them.
And Melody just kind of like has this look to her before her smile she smiles again and goes, "Oh, so you taught so you told them a lesson."
She glances over at you. Yes, I did. But you know that. You know so many things that you don't let on to because the truth is unpleasant. I killed them. I do not feel remorse for it. It is in my nature as a goddess, but it was also in my nature when I was mortal. I tell you this for a reason, Melody. And she smiles. I believe that those that I watch over and protect have the opportunity to be better than me. That they might find ways to not do the things that I do. I believe it my holy charge to punish those who would abuse their children, and yet I believe that I am limited in that way as well. There are better people out there than me. You are one of them. I have no doubt of that. That is why I chose you. Do not do things the way that I do them, Melody. Be better than me.
And she kind of like holds up one of her uh claws to kind of like um hold over the matriarch's hand that's on her cheek, and she kind of goes, Well, that's the whole point of being a performer.
Mhm.
We're here to help save the world. Well, not save. We're here to help heal the world. And one of the ways to do that is to break a very difficult circle of not great feelings, like
Mhm.
anger and sadness.
Stand up against centuries of violence and hopelessness. That is what you will stand against.
That's okay because you told me I'm never alone.
She smiles. You are not. No, not so long as I exist will you ever be alone. And at that, she reaches out and extends a hand, and you see Fluffles run along towards where her fingers are, and she strokes the teddy bear's cheek. And in that moment, the teddy bear gets a little bit larger, and a little ribbon appears around its neck, a bow in pink. And then she withdraws her hand, and she smiles at you. Thank you for helping, Melisandre.
It was my pleasure.
I believe that. Have a lovely night, Melody. And she vanishes into the fog.
And Melody just kind of like looks in the direction of the moon
Mm-hmm.
that the matriarch was looking at, and she's gonna wave and go, "Good night," and
Me-
head towards Widow's Revenge.
Melody, your
Ye-
tattoo has grown in strength. You now have a new ability. In addition to the first stage of your tattoo, the Matriarch's protection now grants resistance to a damage type of your choice. You may decide this when you designate the party member to be protected. In addition, once per short rest, when an ally under the Matriarch's protection is attacked, you may choose to spend your reaction to take the hit in their place. You teleport up to 30 feet to intercept the attack, and the enemy must now attack you instead. If you are the player under her protection, any ally within 30 feet may spend their reaction to teleport up to 30 feet and intercept the attack from you.
Oh God!
I will drop that in the chat.
Oh no!
That's wild.
Woof.
I already know how
Oh
I'm gonna
boy.
for that.
Excuse me while 3 of us fight over being the one to take the hit.
Pretty much.
That is the second stage of the Matriarch's protection. There are 2 remaining.
Ow.
And yes, all of you have 4 stages on your tattoos.
Mhm.
All right. And with that, you all slowly make your way back to the Widow's Revenge for the evening, as it's now getting very late. If you look closely, you may notice that Melody's teddy bear now has a bow on it, and you don't recall that she was going to the tattoo parlor. But other than that, everything seems normal. She does not have a little girl with her anymore, so apparently it went well, or very poorly, depending on how you look at it.
She's smiling, so that's a good hint.
Assuming it's
Yeah.
good.
Does anyone have anything else they would like to do this evening?
I feel that about sums it up, probably.
I mean, I can wait. I was gonna see if I can do my dwarf thing, but I can wait.
You absolutely can. You can go out and stargaze if you wish.
I will attempt.
I'll give you your book.
Thank you. She's very happy about that.
You now have Kelly's Guide to Gods and Goddesses Volume 1, in addition to Volume 2. You can attune to them, and any religion check that you make wherein you have time to read them, so as long as it doesn't have to be something like, like exactly in that moment, you can add a +4 to your religion check.
Got it.
If you have time to utilize the book, you have a +4, basically, anytime you research.
Okay.
By the time I thought to have this one signed, she was gone. I apologize.
Oh, that is all right. I appreciate it anyway. Thank
I
you.
get the sense that happens a lot there.
Indeed. Perhaps we will see her wandering once more. Never get to ask her how she went from the mountains to wherever we found her.
In New
Uh,
Alcana.
New
yeah.
Alcana.
That's
That'll be
true.
forever a mystery.
Yep, it will. So you all go up to your rooms for the evening. And fortunately, they have balconies on them. So, Rialta, it's easy enough to go out and sit on the edge of your balcony and
All right.
start gazing up at the sky.
Well, we will see. I have to roll, I think, what, an 18? Or no, I have to roll 17 or higher, so
I'm glad you remember because I don't remember what I wrote for this.
don't worry. I have it on here. So we're just going to see. Nope. Did not make it.
Okay. What are you trying to discern from the sky? Out of curiosity.
I was hoping to discern a sort of path about whether I should be following the group to Unredo or trying to go straight to my brother.
Got you. Okay. Ask one question. To the DM's discretion. What you? All right. So you don't make the roll, so you don't get a particularly clear image of anything. But as you look through the stars, you do notice something. As if some of the stars are lighting up more than they normally would. As if you remember seeing this once before when you spoke with Selena and she could touch the stars and make them glow to show you a picture in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
It looks kind of like that. And as you try to discern what the image is, the image itself, it looks like a fish is what you see. Mhm.
Well, Moon Bay is by the bay. Probably a lot of fish there.
Reasonable thought.
Fish. Still, gotta think more about fish.
Yes. Yes. So does everyone go to bed?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Kara, I do have to ask. Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Very well then.
Of course.
So. Get it. This. All right. So, you all lay down to go to bed, and each of you finds a peaceful slumber. Caldana, as you drift off to sleep, it isn't long before you begin to hear music playing. A soft, steady beat. It seems to move through you, encouraging your eyes to open even as it relaxes you more. You realize then that you're not in bed anymore either, but sitting on the most comfortable couch you've ever been on. It's soft, and you practically sink into it. The lovely smells of incense and perfume hang in the air, and as you look around, you see the place is lavishly decorated with light pink walls and deep purple floors. And in front of you is a stage, elegant and done in dark wood. Lights illuminate the center of the stage, where a pole extends up towards the ceiling. And leaning against that pole is Lestitia. Tracing your eyes up her form, you see the 6-inch stiletto heels she wears and the stockings that run up over her crimson red flesh. She's more clothed now than the last time you saw her, but where it was once skin tight, she now wears things that are flouncy and flow. As she sways her hips, her short skirt twists and moves, and her tight top plunges deep on the neckline as she leans forward, an enticing smile crossing her lips. "Good evening, mistress," she purrs out as she continues to dance.
Caldana somehow is surprised at what is happening. I had a couple questions.
She presses her back up against the pole as she slowly slides down, her legs parting just enough as she does. "And what could I possibly answer for you, mistress?"
if I were to take your deal, how noticeable would that be to anyone wanting to look like a, oh, I don't know, Inquisition?
She nods as she debates that in her mind, standing and taking the pole in a hand as she once swings around it. Not particularly, at least not at the beginning. There is, well, if I were to show myself too much, the Inquisition would certainly kill you, at which point my life would be forfeit, and that would not be very valuable for me. She then drops down onto her hands and knees as she crawls towards the edge of the stage. That said, I feel it only fair that I do tell you that it is in the nature of demons to corrupt what they touch. Although, if you were interested, I do promise it would be well worth it. Her
Most
hand
people this
her
way.
hand extends across from the stage and almost touches you. As for your curiosity as to why we're here, well, this is your mind, and I'm a dread demon of lust. So if you wish to know why we're here, actually, the question would be best asked to you. Why are we here?
The character, damn it, Callie, I forgot the other questions I had.
You didn't write them down?
The gay panic set in, and it was like, oops, what?
I think we're getting past the gay panic now.
Yeah, no, this is past gay panic.
I don't know what's worse than gay panic. Like, hold on.
Oh, to think
No,
I
this is
almost
just
used the dread
full-on-
demon of treachery.
This is full on thirst territory. Hold on, we have an emote for this now.
We do. We most certainly do. It is being used.
Shit, I have completely forgotten what the other question is.
As you think about it, she just stands and continues to dance. Quite a dancer. Probably a high performance check.
Uh-huh.
What, like a 27?
Maybe like a plus 27.
Oh my god, I would have loved nothing more if she nat one and she just like fell flat on her fucking face.
Let's find out.
And she just like, good evening, mistress, on the fucking floor.
She did not nat one.
Hold on, I need
Knowing
this-
her, she would just be like, I seem to have fallen and can't get up.
Oh my.
Could you please help me?
Finally, she goes and sits on the edge of the stage, crossing her legs as she does.
Well, I did just remember one of them. Out of curiosity, what's it like existing in a mind?
She seems to consider how to answer that for a long moment. Not so different than it was in the amulet. The deepest parts of your mind where I reside are reserved for things like breathing, swallowing, non-functions you don't have to think about, things that just happen automatically. It is quiet. It is lonely, dark. There's very little that happens that I experience there, and in that way it is very similar to the amulet. Occasionally, your ego or your id will appear to speak with me. They are interesting, but for the most part, it is very quiet.
Lana just looks a little confused at like the ego and id thing.
Sorry. The parts of your mind that are driven by baser instinct or by desire, they get along better than I do. We get along very well.
Suppose that makes sense.
I have no doubt that's why you're speaking to me now. Your ego influencing you. Just telling you, oh, surely she's worth talking to. She can't be that dangerous. Look how gorgeous she is. She smiles.
I have no illusions that you're not dangerous.
That is good. I would hate to think that I was in the mind of an idiot. I am exceedingly dangerous, although admittedly not as dangerous as I was when I had a body. Then,
No, and at least for the moment, interested in keeping me alive.
indeed. In fact, it is my main motivating factor at this point. If you die, that is the end of me. And while you get the benefit of going back through and reincarnating and living again, I do not. So,
Caldana looks kind of lost in thought for a minute.
she just watches. Like, you don't get the sense that she's like, she's just studying you as if intrigued, watching the facial reactions, trying to decipher what you're thinking about while doing so. She finds mortals fascinating.
Oh. Locked in the way of mine, in the base parts of mine seems like a pretty shit way to exist.
It is marginally more pleasant than the amulet, I grant you that, but not by much.
Oh. How about I take your initial deal then?
A degree of living space in your conscious mind in exchange for some of my knowledge, I believe it was.
Seems right to me.
She smiles and crawls. She hops down off the stage as she approaches you, and a huge grin breaks out on her face. Well then, shall I show you how a dread demon seals a pact?
God.
And
Oh no.
she leans in and kisses you right on the lips. She is an exceedingly good kisser.
All right.
And then she breaks it shortly after.
I'm not gonna lie, I expected you to, given who she is, I expected you to say it was gonna fade to black.
Nope. She steps back, goes back towards the stage, and nods. You may make a couple changes. You now have proficiency in history checks. You have proficiency in religion checks if you don't have it already. And you now speak Dwarvish. I mean, in fairness, you gained Dwarvish, Abyssal, and Infernal, but you already speak Abyssal and Infernal, so. But you now speak Dwarvish as well.
Let me try to remember where I add that in Roll20.
It's the bottom left.
Oh yeah, other proficiencies in languages.
Mm-hmm.
I will not be able to see and hear the things you do, but I will be able to see what effect they have on your consciousness. From that, I will be able to, well, maybe infer what has happened. But I will be able to speak with you when I wish, or when you wish to speak with me. As you are my mistress, I will allow you to decide how often I speak to you.
Low nod.
Again, I am a guest here. I do recognize that. Even demons observe guest rights. I will endeavor not to tread on ground that I am not allowed to. The bird seems most insistent that I stay away from your deeper memories.
Doesn't want anyone there, it seems.
Indeed. I won't say I didn't sneak a peek. She winks. But almost as those words are out of her mouth, another being appears in the room. They are vaguely feminine in shape, but they are wreathed in flame. And you don't have to think very hard to know who this is,
It's
as
weird.
this Yeah, as this being walks over and snarls out, "What have you done?"
Gain
Uh,
some knowledge.
Lestitia leans back on the stage, seeming quite pleased with herself as she smiles, and the red lady looks at you. "Do you know what she is?"
Not an idiot. Not
"I
gonna
beg to
start her
differ.
like an idiot.
She corrupts all that she touches by her very presence. Already she is working on your mind, corrupting parts of it, pieces of it, anywhere she touches." And then she glares at Lestitia. "You will descend back into the deepest depths of her mind where you can do no damage, and you will stay there. Am I most understood?" And Lestitia smiles and shrugs. "I do as my mistress commands, nothing more and nothing less. If she wishes me to speak with her in her conscience, I will do so. If she wishes me to go sit in the depths of her mind, I will do so." And the red lady looks furious. "Caldana, I tell you this for your own good. I have chosen you for this position, and indeed I did tell you that could have been others if not you. But I saw something special in you, and that is why I picked you. Do not allow her to twist this end. It is too important. It is too critical to the survival of this world to be put into the hands of a dread demon."
Well, fortunately for us both, she needs me alive.
She doesn't. Yes, she needs you alive. What else would she take over if you were gone?
If I stop giving her phone, she can't take anything.
Then I hope that your willpower is better than this locale suggests it is. And she vanishes into flame. Lestitia whistles. She has a temper.
I mean, fire.
The goddess of fire does not have a temper, unless you invoke her name for war. Kana gets very angry at that. She smiles. "Well then, mistress, I shall allow you a restful night's sleep, and if you need me, you need only ever call. I will be around. I will provide you what knowledge I have on things, although I do have to warn you if it is from things older than the year, say 369, I will be of little help. I was not born before then."
Well, it's better than knowledge of a month ago.
That is true. Think back, Caldana. Memories can be a powerful thing. Take the Red Lady, for instance, who she was in life. It's an interesting thing when you study both gods and dread demons alike, what they were like when they lived, and how it influenced who they became when they were divine. It is not just to say that you are the goddess of fire or the goddess of rebirth. It is not something that is chosen. It is based on who you were in life. It is based on what caused you to spark. What sort of person might she have been in life that her champions now can't remember their past? Food for thought.
Thousand-yard stare.
She smiles and then leans over and whispers in your ear. "Do you believe that you are the hero of your story?" And then you awaken. And that's where we're going to wrap up for tonight.
Mm-hmm.